everyone to the NBA cast. A pivotal Game 4. I didn't think I would have a chance to say that after the LA Lakers went up 2-0, but Jimmy Butler, with one of the greatest finals games of all time, willed the Heat into this situation. And now, Danny, Bam Adebayo will make his return tonight.
Absolutely, and Goran Dragic unfortunately will not. He tried to make it work and he did not. But Bam fundamentally changes the Heat. He is a pivotal part of their roster offensively and defensively, and it'll be interesting to see how it affects Miami's offense. We thought they executed extremely well in Game 3. Part of it was the space Jimmy Butler had to operate. They will be good. They have better talent with Bam, but we'll see if it is better, if it is ill-suited to what they did so successfully in Game 3.
Yeah, and spacing has been the key on both ends. The Heat keeping the Lakers away from the rim in Game 3, forcing them to shoot about as many three-pointers as they've taken all season, and one of their lowest rim shooting games all season. Whereas Miami, on the other hand, Butler went to work because they had 4 shooters on the floor. That'll change a little bit now with Adebayo. And then the defense. I imagine the Heat are going to stick with that switching man-to-man. The zone was not effective in Game 2 from a rebounding standpoint. And so this will be fascinating from a strategic perspective as we find out whether this is going to be a long series or not tonight. Adebayo does not win the tip. Howard does instead, and we'll take a look at how he's moving. So interestingly, Adebayo is guarding Anthony Davis to start here. That was not the case in Game 1. Davis trying to get going, and Howard on the offensive glass beats 2 Heat, but then throws it away. Here's Bam going right in for the easy layup.
And no one really addresses Bam. LeBron's staying on Duncan Robinson there, doesn't get back to Bam, gets the layup.
Yeah, Bam beat both Davis and Howard down the floor. They go under on LeBron in the pick and roll, but just switch that. Now Davis looking to hand off. They don't switch that one. Now Davis behind the defense for the dunk as Hero could not veer back onto him fast enough. Danny, I think the strategy here, as the Lakers are going to try and pressure up, particularly against Hero, who has struggled to bring the ball up at times. The strategy with Adebayo on Davis early is that they probably suspect that the Lakers are going to go to Davis a lot early since he was quiet in Game 3.
I think you're completely right.
Late clock here. Robinson getting around KCP. Davis, great job by him switching on to Robinson. Then they had to hot potato it around, but not quickly enough, and the shot clock violation takes place.
And Jimmy Butler buzzer clutching instead of just taking that 3. It wasn't a great look. Danny Green was there, but you have to take it. There's 1 second left.
Handoff to KCP. Same play they just ran. This time they do better, and they throw it away. Great denial by Bam Adebayo, and Robinson did much better getting through the screen that time, and then Adebayo did not have to help.
And remember all the turnovers trying to get the ball to Davis at the beginning of Game 3.
Adebayo trying to slip the screen quickly, and Davis is guarding Adebayo as well. Robinson, as Adebayo tips it out. Hero moves into the mid-range for the easy pull-up, but misses it. Excellent box out by Howard. Now it's James in transition. Adebayo did well to get back, and he'll pick up James. James, remember, attacked Adebayo early in Game 1. Trying to post up Howard against Robinson, who did well to front him. That didn't work. Now Green will have to drive it. Good help comes in, and they're going to get a 3-second violation on Dwight Howard before the passing crash.
Yeah, and they just couldn't really get the ball into Dwight. He had an advantage there, and really I think the point of that post-up is to try to draw a foul on Duncan Robinson, which did not happen.
3 turnovers on their first 4 possessions for the Lakers, mirroring what took place in Game 3. Butler guarded by Davis. They're trying to slip it. Adebayo underneath, trying to go into Davis, moves him, but can't finish. And I think you see Bam a little bit hesitant there with that left shoulder. Now Davis, as they try to post up Howard. That's good defense. Oh, that's a clean block by Crowder. They throw it into the corner, KCP, and he hits the corner 3. The Lakers shot a billion corner 3s in the first game, 21 to be precise, so maybe less than a billion, but close enough by NBA terms.
Round up.
Davis guarding Butler. That's been the primary matchup on a few of these possessions. We'll have to watch that. Butler going into Howard. Gets past him for the beautiful and one.
And LeBron there, I think he could have been more attentive and helped defense. Once Butler got a shoulder past Dwight, LeBron's on the near side corner. That's a really challenging pass for Butler to make. If he could come up, make life a little bit more difficult for him on the finish.
And it was very subtle, but Dwight Howard actually bit on not really a pump fake, but a hesitation shot fake there from Butler, and that's not good defense. Jimmy Butler is not looking to take that shot. Tied now at 5 as Butler responds to KCP's three-pointer with his own three-point play. Adebayo denying on Davis, fronting him again. He grabbed him as he tried to spin backwards, but you could see Crowder helping, and now here's the steal. Ahead to Butler, and no, they're going to say that Adebayo stepped on the sideline here.
Yeah, and that's a big swing. That was going to be an easy 2 for Jimmy Butler, so it would have been 7-5, and now the Lakers instead get possession.
You could see again as Davis tried to spin off, help came from the weak side off of Howard deterring the lob pass. And now they're going to get a little chucking foul here on Anthony Davis. Yeah, I think this is going to be Adebayo's first, which obviously he cannot afford. I think you'll see as he's kind of grappling around that he's going to be favoring that left arm, using the right arm a lot for that, and he got fouled, or he got the foul that time with that. Here's LeBron with Duncan Robinson going way over in help side defense. KCP on the drive. Nice left-handed finish. KCP showing the versatility that he first introduced as a Detroit Piston, actually attacked the basket. Sorry, what were you going to say there?
I was going to say that Bam being out on AD, respecting his jump shot, that made that he wasn't around to help deter that shot at the rim.
Robinson into the lane, tried to drop it off for Bam, gets it back somehow. Davis all over the place defensively. Now he's on Hero. Hero, the left hand, what a move. He knew that if he went with the right-handed reverse, Davis would block it, so the left-hand reverse on the right side. Beautiful. Howard trying to get deep post position on Crowder. This hasn't worked very well so far. He'll kick it out. Good closeout by Hero. Now they'll swing it around and try something else. Davis with the contested jumper. That bricks off the back rim.
Yeah, and Howard was in position for an offensive rebound. It just didn't bounce his way.
Well, and these Howard post-ups aren't really working particularly well. This will remain Heat ball as it was tipped away from Hero. Watch this beautiful lefty reverse.
Yeah, and also putting it right along the backboard. Hard to not get a goaltend too.
Robinson gets open this time on Green, and he hits off the baseline out of bounds. He wanted the foul call, but I think he kicked the leg out as part of his natural shooting motion, but he wasn't going to get that call as a result.
And that's why it wasn't an offense foul or anything like that.
Pick and roll. LeBron swinging it to KCP. Hero is there again. Now it's Davis against Butler. Let's see where the help comes from. It's Hero. Hero continuing to hound him. Davis swinging it around. Hero all the way over there to the corner against KCP, but his outstanding effort on that possession was for naught as Caldwell Pope hits his second corner 3 of the game. Here's Crowder as LeBron just left him. No damage done there, though. Heat loading to LeBron in transition. Nobody running with him. Trying to post up Davis. He tried to spin. It wasn't there. They'll switch this again. That time Davis gets inside position, but it's taken away by Crowder. Lobbed up to Howard, but it's too high from LeBron, who's been a non-factor so far. Here's Adebayo going in. Tried to avoid the charge. No foul was called. Here's Hero going for the floater over Howard, and it drops. You can see that Adebayo was not looking to finish that play aggressively against LeBron James. Now they're going to get Robinson with his first foul as he held Kentavious Caldwell-Pope.
Yeah, and that's only the second team foul on the Heat. The Lakers only have one. So another low foul first quarter. We've seen a couple of those so far in this series, but we get our first stoppage.
Yeah, and our first stoppage is a great chance to tell you about our sponsor for today's program, Bookies.com.
Yeah, Bookies.com is all about information, and for me, that starts with their expert picks. I really enjoyed that Adam Thompson and Mark Stratman are generally making 2 picks per finals game, and so in this one, they both picked the over, which was set at 218.5, and then they disagreed on who was actually going to cover versus win. So Miami 7-point underdogs. So Adam Thompson picked them, and Mark Stratman picked the Lakers over the Heat as 7.5-point favorites.
Yeah, Bookies.com has got great click-through deals to betting if it is legal in your state. As well, follow them on Twitter at Bookies.
Now we can get to some of your questions. Oh, this is a good one from Ann and Mark. How do you see Prime D Wade's offensive game in today's NBA? I mean, I think that his ability to penetrate off the dribble, I think, would be very useful, and also I think the encouragement that has become even stronger for 3-point shooting, get that base. Maybe if you like transported, let's say, Marquette era D Wade into the game, he would have spent more time on that. I think it would totally work. But if he didn't have that, then it would there'd be limitations. We've seen point guards without with that kind of shot distribution not do as well. But he was think about Wade with the kind of spacing we have in the modern NBA. I think it would have been devastating.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, he was a solid 80% free throw shooter.
Right.
And there were times in his career where he would take threes and he wasn't just totally useless at them. So I think it would have been different for him as time went on.
Oh, that's a nice note. People were talking about if their feed is ahead of us, ideally you could slow it down through a pause button or something else like that. But another suggestion from Jonathan Willits for people streaming from ESPN who are ahead, if you switch to the ABC stream, apparently they're further behind, and that can help you sync up.
That's a good one. Here's a good comment here that can get into something we wanted to talk about. From Rhymes with 7, Dwight's post-ups are really jamming up the offense. Yes, I agree with that. And we've talked about this with Mason Plumlee, too, that if you're trying to post up, basically there's nothing else that the offense can do other than try to get it to you because you're blocking off anything else, any other attacks to the rim that might be tried. And yeah, if Dwight wants to duck in really quickly, that's a good idea. But if he doesn't get the ball right away, they got to get into something else. And maybe he can draw a foul ducking in quickly or he can spin off. But they've had possessions where they spent like 8 seconds trying to get the ball into him, and that's not a profitable enterprise.
Yeah, that's true. Even though Miami's best rim protector isn't guarding Dwight, just because the other person can help deter everything that's happening at the rim anyway. And LA, no free throw attempts, 3 shots in the restrict area, but I believe at least one of those was in transition.
Yeah, Bam did get that interception with his off arm. So, I mean, certainly he's doing enough out here to be effective.
Yes.
So we'll see this next stretch with LeBron probably getting his first rest. Usually goes out with about 5 minutes left in the first quarter. And interesting to see how the Heat are going to handle the minutes of Jimmy Butler.
Oh, yeah, I was going to bring that up pregame, but we ran out of time.
Yeah, what were we going to say?
Well, I mean, when Bam was out, he's been playing these ridiculous minute totals, and Dragic too. And I think they're still going to try to play him a lot if Butler can handle it. And he has handled it better than I would have ever anticipated because he's a monster. But I think that you might want to tone it down, maybe even into the low 40s.
They tried the pick and pop with Green, and he's wide open. And this is actually something that Zach Lowe talked about in his column as Green hits that three is how can you better combat what they're doing on the small screens for LeBron and rolling Danny Green into the corner where there isn't anybody to help on him is a great way to do that. Now Butler back to goal against Green. Swinging around. Robinson intercepted by James. He's going right at Hero. Hero falls down and no call is made. LeBron with a big dunk.
And LeBron, great anticipation there. There's really only one place for Duncan Robinson to pass. LeBron identified that and just sniffed out the pass before it happened.
Yeah, so it is AD again with the primary matchup on Jimmy Butler, and they're fine switching Howard onto Butler as well. It's really the smaller players who struggle. Here's Robinson, tough float. Nice play there as Howard did not want to leave Butler in help defense. Same play again here. Green trying to slip it. They'll just switch Adebayo on. Here's the three from KCP. Lakers' first missed three of the game. Good rebounding by the Heat. Hero looking to attack James. Pulls up in his face, but short. Not quite on balance that time for Hero. Now it's Howard ahead of the field, and he's run into by Robinson. That'll be his second personal.
Yeah, and we'll see what they do now with Duncan Robinson. I'm assuming they'll pull him because of this foul trouble. And Robinson took 3 shots, made that shot over Davis in the lane, and also hit one of his 2 threes.
Yeah, that's potentially a foul from LeBron James.
His arm didn't separate too much from his body, but there was some force behind it to be sure.
Yeah, so James will sit down. KCP going into Hero throws up a wild shot. Great defense without fouling by Hero to show his hands. Now Olynyk is in. They'll space the floor out. Nunn trying Rondo, pulls up over him, and that misses.
I wonder how this Lakers lineup is going to score because there's not. It's going to be hard to penetrate, and they have a lot of limited shooters too.
Yeah, the two bigs without LeBron on the floor. Rondo missing another one. Now it's Hero ahead. Let's see if Davis can block him. Hero, nice play, but he missed it. It slipped out of his hands. I thought he got it up cleanly, but I was surprised to see him miss that badly. Trying to post up Davis, his first touch in the scoring area, really, as he was able to attack Hero.
And that's how you do it. Pop in quickly, get your shot, and then get the hell out.
Here's Butler leaving it for Olynyk, but Davis with a nasty rejection, and they're going to get a loose ball foul on Kelly Olynyk.
Yeah, that was a good call. I didn't see the loose ball foul call, but you are absolutely correct that they called it. And I think he pushed off too. Probably frustrated by the block. And this is more of the Anthony Davis we saw in game 1. Remember how impactful he was defensively in that one before game 2 was the scoring fest, and then game 3 he was non-existent.
Yeah, the early foul trouble may have had something to do with that. Pick and roll, Rondo and AD. Good solid screen set. Rondo in the mid-range, leaving it for AD. That was good pick and roll defense by Miami, though. Kuzma will have to take a very difficult shot behind the backboard on the right baseline over Olynyk. Butler still guarded primarily by Davis, and they want Olynyk to involve Kuzma. Here's Butler. Nice look, and somehow he made that. That was not a good shot, but it lucked in off the backboard. But you can see part of the problem with Davis guarding Butler is that Davis is not going to get through a screen at all. You have to switch that, really. Caldwell Pope, tough shot over Tyler Hero. And the Lakers' jump shooting has been outstanding early on here.
Absolutely. We'll go through their shot chart at the end of the first quarter.
Now there's the small screen for Butler and his floater again. So he's continuing his domination from that short range where he shot 9 of 12 in game number 3. Rondo attacking along the baseline, misses the layup.
And a nice job by Anthony Davis there identifying the pass ahead to Jay Crowder. All you need to do is get a finger on it, and it totally short circuits the Heat fast break. Miami retains the ball, but they don't have the advantage.
Yeah, I like this approach of having Nunn screen for Butler to involve Rondo, because Rondo does not want to play defense against Jimmy Butler. And they are avoiding that switch. That's another thing to note as well. But, I mean, I think if Nunn sets a good, solid screen there, then they should be able to eat out of that matchup. What's the best way for Butler to attack AD? I think we're seeing it here of the small screens. Butler wants to get someone smaller onto him, and it looks like the Lakers aren't switching that, so Butler needs to be very aggressive now off of those.
From Namir Baker, Miami playing better than the do you agree that Miami's playing better than the Lakers so far, given the Lakers shot making? Yeah, I think I do. There have been a few of these, especially in the kind of the non-LeBron minutes, where the Lakers have made tough shots and Miami's missed a couple of relatively clean looks. So I think it's close. Like, I think we're kind of within the margin of error between these two teams, but I will say I think Miami has played better.
Yeah, now the Lakers are 3 of 4 on 3-pointers, but they've had 3 wide open left corner threes by the guys who are theoretically their best shooters. And I think this is important both for Green and KCP to hit some shots early so that Frank Vogel can have confidence in them down the end, and that really can improve the defense and the spacing for the Lakers at the end of the game as well as here at the beginning.
And it's also true the Lakers have made 2 tough mid-rangers, the one with KCP and then Kuzma's, but those are their only 2 makes from mid-range. They're 2 of 5 overall. So that, that does bounce it a little bit, but it's not completely ridiculous.
Why is KCP so stigmatized as a player?
I would say part of it is, so it's funny because KCP gets hate sometimes from his own fans and from opposing ones, the off-court stuff, as mentioned in the question, that can be part of it, is that KCP, there was this possibility that he was going to be much more than kind of a 3-and-D specialist, and so he had more on-ball potential on the Pistons, and so sometimes he gets a little bit aggressive with that, kind of like Marcus Smart has done times, but he's not as good as Marcus Smart. So I think that's a part of it, and also he can be very inconsistent, but his inconsistency doesn't change his aggressiveness, and so sometimes that leads to rough nights.
Yeah, and he's also, since LeBron and Rondo came in, he just hasn't been asked to do as much off the dribble. And I think those skills have atrophied a little bit, and then when he does try them, they don't really look too amazing. And also, Lakers fans are going to overreact to everything that happens, good or bad.
Could AD just dive way under and give Jimmy the pull-up? They could, but the problem is if you just set the screens a little bit lower, Butler's not going to take a pull-up three, but he can take a mid-range or not without too much of a problem, and you could probably take that as a pretty set shot.
Yeah, but I do think that perhaps that's part of the strategy here is to have AD do that, because then he's still at least waiting there at the rim as a big guy, and you don't have to worry about sending help if he does get through. But we'll see. We're going to be watching that dance quite a bit to go on here.
So let's see what personnel is on the floor. Miami doesn't seem like a change from them after none came in for Duncan Robinson, and Olynyk we already saw in the game.
We do have Andre Iguodala on the floor for the first time.
Oh, there we go. Oh yeah, I didn't recognize him up there in the corner.
Yeah, and Caruso is in now as well. Kuzma is guarding Butler. This is interesting. This may actually be a zone here from the Lakers. And wow, they completely blew the coverage. And Hero, who has not shot well so far, misses that one. He was wide open, though. That was really a man-to-man play that worked against what appeared to be a zone. Rondo off a couple of screens trying to set up Kuzma. Iguodala did well to get through it. Now trying to post up AD. Rondo throws it early, but too early, and Olynyk was also there to come over. So the Lakers have only successfully even gotten the ball into AD in the post once so far. And recall that in Game 2, he was just killing them. Here's Butler.
But then in Game 3, that was a huge part of their turnover problem.
Another floater from Jimmy Butler. Even with Caruso digging down, Butler just can't miss from that range. Yeah, Olynyk is guarding Anthony Davis now. Caruso getting through the screen. Butler got a hand on it. And it'll remain Lakers ball as James will return here after about a 3-minute break. Yeah, I mean, Butler just able to get to that mid-range spot and pull up. Now it's Iguodala guarding AD pretty far out on the floor. Here's the cut from LeBron going around Olynyk, and he's going to pick up the foul.
And the Lakers win the bonus. That's 2 free throws.
Yeah, nice cut there from LeBron James, recognizing that the Heat were zoning up against Anthony Davis and cutting right into that space.
And missed free throws have been a challenge for the Lakers in this series. We'll see if that happens again in Game 4.
So let me ask you this with LeBron at the line. I don't think that this is an example of this that we just saw here, but how do you think LeBron has been refereed in these playoffs?
I think that it's actually he's gotten a more beneficial whistle as a defender than as an offensive player. I think that's something Nuggets fans can remember from the Western Conference Finals. Yeah. He can sometimes get away with more contact there. But, he does get his share of superstar calls, to be fair.
And I've never really thought that the complaints about LeBron were really very warranted as far as him not getting called for fouls. But this is actually one of the first postseasons I've thought that maybe they were. Butler still guarded by Davis. Yeah, you see Davis go way under as they alluded to, and that worked that time. Now it's Adebayo going into Davis, and they're going to get an offensive foul here, and that's probably the right call.
Yeah, I mean, Adebayo used his right arm to push off there, and that is Bam's second.
Yeah, and you will see that a lot from guys who have an injury. You'll see them push off more often. And you could tell that Bam, I don't think he was comfortable just continuing his drive and going up with the left hand. So they're going to take him out again now or leave
I
him?
think they are.
Yeah. Yeah, I wonder if there's any kind of minutes limit for him as well. But that obviously a blow. And Olynyk also has 2 fouls now. So it's going to be Jay Crowder really as the center, or Iguodala. Here's Davis swinging it around to Caruso. James into the lane. This is a chance for the Lakers to make some hay. Nice play by Iguodala coming over again off of Kuzma. There's no space in that lane. That's already another turnover for James. Hero on the drive. None. Back to Hero in the 2-man game, and Iguodala now will set the screen. Iguodala on the attack, gets stripped from behind by Rondo, gets it back, goes to the lefty hook over Davis. I did not know that Andre Iguodala had that one in the arsenal.
I don't think he knew it either.
Trying to avoid the switch here, and they do it. Iguodala gambles, but doesn't lose. Here's the 3 in the corner from Kuzma, and you're definitely going to have to live with that as Miami. Their strategy is clearly to pack the paint. That was a pretty contested 3, but the Lakers can't miss from that left corner. None. Tough jumper over Davis, who again challenging well in the mid-range. He looks pretty tired right now, though. Davis at range against Iguodala. Caruso just shoves Iguodala. No call on either end that time. Hero does well to get through the screen. Caruso going at him. Lays it in. Nobody wanted to help on Alex Caruso. It looked like Hero had him contained, but Caruso did well to finish.
Yeah, and I bet on Caruso to finish more than to make a tough pass there. I still think these teams are being a little bit too reluctant to help.
Butler on the pull-up at the end of the clock, and he's brought it to a 5-point deficit for Miami. And yeah, I would agree with you.
A quick point there.
Yeah.
LeBron, that is a rare situation where it didn't seem like he knew how little time was left in the quarter. He just kind of short-armed his contest there. Butler has to take the shot. There's 1 second left in the quarter.
Yeah, that's a good point.
But you were going to go somewhere.
Nah, not really.
Okay.
We can go to some questions instead.
We can do that. Davis played the whole first quarter, right? Yes, he played the entire first quarter. 12 minutes for him, 12 minutes for Hero, 12 minutes for Jimmy Butler.
Yeah, Butler 5 of 5, rest of team 5 of 16 for the Heat, and really I think this has been pretty even. It's just the Lakers are 4 of 5 on threes, including 4 of 4 in that left corner, and the Heat are 1 out of 5. There's your difference in the game. Everything else is pretty even. I guess the only other thing you could point to is the Lakers have 9 assists on 11 field goals, and the Heat not really. This is a big ball movement team. They only have 4 assists on their 10 field goals. That'll be something to monitor as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Jimmy Butler's done some of his work in isolation. I think that's a factor. Can the Nets sign and trade Joe Harris, or does that hard cap them? It does not hard cap them. The way that works is it is receiving a player via sign and trade is what hard caps you, not sending one out. The rule is that you have to be able to sign the player to the contract in the sign and trade. So like theoretically, if you don't have sufficient bird rights, you can't do it. So it would actually be totally fine for them. Now the Nets, depending, I don't think you would be base your compensation, so I don't think it would be a reduced cap hold. I'd have to do the math based on the contract he signs. But it would be hard for the Nets to replace him, which is why I don't expect it to happen. Let's see. This is a question more for you. I don't know if you want to think about it. Who in today's league would really thrive in the illegal defense era?
Well, any post-up players certainly. Much more, and that's the number one thing that you could look at.
Like, would Enes Kanter?
More so, yeah, I think so.
Like, I was thinking limited mobility bigs.
Yeah, no, that's definitely true.
Given their respective cap contract situations, would it have been more devastating for the Lakers or Clippers to lose in the second round? Lakers, because LeBron James is 35, turning 36. It's not as much about anything else other than that you lose it. You lose an opportunity while LeBron is playing like this. That is more catastrophic. Even and remember, the Lakers' key guys aren't signed for as long. We'll see what happens with Anthony Davis this offseason. But LeBron has a player option after next year. I think there's a distinct chance, given the COVID cap numbers, that AD is going to sign a 1+1. So that wouldn't have worked out super well for the Lakers either. Just want to make sure my mic was on.
It was.
Yeah. Who could the Nets get in a sign and trade for Joe Harris? I don't think it'd be a ton because first of all, there are teams that could just sign him outright. And remember that in the current situation, everybody other than like 4 teams who could just sign him outright, they would have to send back at least some form of matching salary. And that would be a challenge. And the Nets aren't going to take back anything bad because their team is hardcore expensive.
All right. Second quarter underway. Adebayo is back. Robinson, as Kuzma gets through the screen nicely on him. They'll go back into this action. Kuzma, again, wow, he played great defense, but then fouls at the very end. Let's see if this is a foul or not.
I think he caught him with his left hand.
Yeah.
It's hard to see from that angle, but it looked like that's what happened.
I mean, it's so hard because you're sprinting as hard as you can after Duncan Robinson. That was probably 4 or 5 screens that he had to beat on that possession. And then when he stops, suddenly, it's just really hard when you're about to run into the guy not to put your hand on him. And not sure what Frank Vogel is so upset about. Maybe he wanted to challenge this. So presumably this will be 3 throws for Duncan Robinson, and it is. Good start for the Heat. Yeah, Duncan Robinson, it seems like, I mean, just to even get one, oh, so this is Jay Crowder just standing here to be an antagonist. But yeah, Duncan Robinson, it's if you just get even one 3-shot foul every game, I mean, that could be the difference between being a good player and a bad player. Not necessarily in Robinson's case, but to just add 3 points to your ledger on one possession every game, I mean, that's pretty amazing.
Yeah, and that's a part of what John Hollinger was getting at in his piece about how three-shot fouls are so valuable, and maybe they should be, outside of the last 2 minutes, they should be eliminated and made 2-shot fouls.
James Rondo pick and roll here. Rondo swings it around. No real advantage gain. Trying to post up LeBron. Iguodala fronting him. Crowder coming over to help so they can't enter the ball. And now he gets over to Morris too. Morris, nice pass under LeBron, but LeBron misses the layup and Iguodala rebounds. Great help there from Adebayo on the LeBron layup. Now Iguodala at range gets it under to Bam. This is a low shooting group here for the Heat. You don't see too much of, but a good defensive group. None on the move. Whoa. Did not realize he had that type of a shot in his arsenal. That's tough for a lefty going to your left.
Yeah, and Rondo never fully recovered from an Iguodala screen. That's what opened up Kendrick Nunn, but I didn't think he had that shot in him either.
Trying to post up LeBron again here. They get it to him with 10 on the clock. Crowder trying to show some bodies. Cuts go through the lane. LeBron taking the jumper over Iguodala. Iguodala did the Shane Battier contest on him that time. But now they give up the 3 off the offensive rebound, and Miami dodging a bullet there. Yeah, we have not seen this group from the Heat. Here's Adebayo trying Markieff Morris. Goes into him. Beautiful touch from Bam Adebayo. And good to see Adebayo with that hard attack leading with the left shoulder.
Yeah, and he didn't need to use the foul there. He was able to move Markieff Morris without it.
Here's the screen. They'll just switch Crowder onto LeBron. Good help coming from Robinson again underneath Caruso. What a finish over Bam by Alex Caruso. Although, again, Danny, I will point this out that Alex Caruso, that play looks great when it works, but you're gumming up the spacing when it doesn't. Here's Iguodala to try and answer with his 3 that rattles in off the pick and roll. Good pass from Robinson, who was run off the line, and the Lakers will call for time here as Miami with a beautiful start to this quarter, 11-2.
And I couldn't see exactly why Kuzma. Oh, so Kuzma helped on the roll, but Markieff Morris had that pretty well handled at that moment, and so but that left Iguodala wide open. They're probably coached to do so.
Yeah, I mean that's not a terrible closeout there on Iguodala, and
No.
part of why the Heat. I mean, I think the Heat's defense has been excellent in this stretch, but the 3-point shooting evening out. Iguodala with a semi-contested one, and Nunn hitting a difficult one on the move. As the Lakers remain are now 4 of 6 with that Kuzma miss. Let's talk about bookies.com here while we have a chance.
Absolutely. And bookies.com is especially great for people if you're over the age of 21 in Pennsylvania, New Jersey, or elsewhere where online sports betting is legal. You can get more involved. And remember that bookies.com/NBA has the latest live odds. It's a single page, and it live updates, has a ton of different outlets. And so if you do that in combination with the amazing click-through deals they have, it's a really great resource for anybody. If you think, if you thought that the Lakers over the Heat with as 7-point favorites, if that you thought that was a no-brainer, maybe you can get a little bit of a better number, you can get a better payout, and you can get the best click-through deals in the business.
Absolutely. Let's take some questions here.
From Danny Socher, doesn't this Lakers unit forfeit the whole point of small ball of spacing? It doesn't. It doesn't. I mean, they have guys that can shoot, but they don't have players that you can't leave, and that was the difference. We saw this a lot in Game 3 between Miami's rock solid shooters and the Lakers. So you do forfeit some of them. I mean, that group doesn't have a ton of offense, and then we see Miami structure a lot of their defense in the paint and haven't really faced too much of a negative on it. The idea that they could play Danny Green with that group, yeah, I think that could absolutely help. Especially because I don't think you need to play LeBron, Rondo, and Caruso together. You just you could play somebody who's a more reliable shooter with that group.
Yeah, and it noted that was without Jimmy Butler. They scored their first points in 2 games with Butler out, and in fact they scored 11 of them on basically every
in
possession
2 minutes
there. Yeah, so
yeah.
Let's see here. Yeah, so I guess what I was going to say, Danny, is I don't think the Lakers have solved this Heat defense yet. I think the Heat have kind of figured it out now that they are just not going to give anything up at the rim unless it's really difficult. And I don't know that the Lakers offense looks that good to me.
I agree. I think that, remember, in the early part they had some fortunate shot making. So far, Lakers 8 shots in the restricted area. But only 2 free throws, and then 2 from floater range, 6 mid-rangers, and then 6 3-pointers. Now, a fair portion of those threes were open, but only 6 so far through 14 minutes of action. I'm fine with that. As Miami. Cody Wilson, have you ever thought of writing a Dunked On glossary? I think we did one you did one at one point. Like a long time ago.
Like just all the terms we use, like record scratch and stuff. Yeah, I don't know. I think I could.
In some ways, it might be better. We could figure out a way to do this maybe with Dunked On Prime or Patreon for somebody to give us a list, and then we can I enjoy writing. I could write some of them down.
All right, we're back here, and Danny Green is in fact in the game for Rondo. So Frank Vogel is listening to that commenter. Caruso turning the corner, tries to finish, stopped. I think that was Robinson who got him again, helping off the corner. Just those guards, as they're not going to get a technical foul. I think this is Caruso who was complaining about the foul as he went for that finger roll. But again, see who is there contesting. That's Duncan Robinson, a guard hanging out in the lane. Like, all these Heat guards are just really gumming up the works for the Lakers. As Robinson.
And then Duncan Robinson, their best free throw shooter, makes the free throw in their ensuing technical. Let's see what they're going to show it.
Nah, I think that's pretty clean. Very hard foul to call. There, Adebayo in the post against Morris, trying to run Robinson off these screens. Now it's Adebayo. Nice help from James. Swing to none. Quick release. Way short, though. Didn't have his feet set. Iguodala, who's rebounded well, out to Crowder with a deep 3 right away. Adebayo avoiding his 3rd foul. James loading up, crossing over beautifully on Crowder, and yet another and one in this series for LeBron James. And I thought Adebayo just too focused on Markieff Morris at the top of the key there. He's the guy who really needs to provide that help to me. And he doesn't do that well.
Yeah, that's not the biggest strength in his game.
And Iguodala has had a lot of fouls where he actually got his hand on the ball there. That was not a... Now, Crowder is shoving him, but this is a pretty clean block. He gets his hand while it's on the ball, if anything. But I guess it wasn't a block
They
because he
called
made
that
it.
on Crowder.
Oh, did they? Thank you.
Yeah. And that's Crowder's first foul. Players with 2, Bam, Duncan Robinson, Kelly Olynyk.
So Kuzma just went down. Here's Bam going at Markieff Morris, and he drains it on that floater. Miami cannot miss on these floaters, Danny.
It's incredible. For the game, Miami is 4 of 8 from there, but they've had some real highlight makes. I'm trying to figure out who those misses. Butler missed one.
And I'm loving these attacks by Bam Adebayo, dribbling with the left hand there as well. Just let him go, space the floor out and let him go. Just like he did against the Celtics. They don't do enough of that, in my opinion, although he missed the free throw. Bam now picking up LeBron. Let's see if LeBron can put a third on Adebayo here. Caruso trying to screen. LeBron into the lane for the big jam. And that time, Caruso basically caused 2 screens to be set the way he was doing it, and Nunn never reacted to that at all. Nunn basically was another screener. Now it's Butler. He's back in. Left hand. Adebayo beasting LeBron, and he'll lay it in.
Yeah, and LeBron just he got kind of pushed into the spot and never really did a big contest either.
Caruso into the lane. So crowded in there. Now Morris will take the 3 wide open. That misses. Crowder did well. They're doing so much better of a job rebounding after that Game 2 debacle. Guys like Crowder and the guards getting into the rebounding action. Iguodala as well. Nunn can't get it. Now here's the drive from Bam. Fouled by Danny Green. And Bam Adebayo has been a force attacking the basket here. And we'll see how long Vogel is going to stick with Anthony Davis on the bench.
And there had been, I think, it was Schumann or Zilgit. I think it was Jeff Zilgit maybe that had the stat that it was the Morris and LeBron, one specific iteration of that actually had the best plus minus for the Lakers in the series. But having Bam on the floor for these minutes fundamentally changes it because Bam can attack basically anybody in this group one-on-one. And he's been so aggressive on Markieff.
Yeah, Bam missing the free throw. Maybe this is part of where that neck/shoulder issue is coming in. But, I mean, look at this rebound with the left hand by Bam over LeBron. But, yeah, he has looked a little bit stiff on these free throws as Davis will return. They're doing that usual thing where he just goes down to the other end on free throws.
But at least that time they had LeBron and Markieff in there.
Yeah, this is a very big lineup now for the Lakers. I mean, their starting unit is pretty big too, frankly. Here's Green. Crowder coming over to help. No advantage gain there. LeBron going to go at Duncan Robinson. Lost it. Butler in transition. He's got Bam behind him. Backs it out for some reason. Tried to get Robinson for a 3. Now there's the 3 from Robinson as the Lakers didn't get back. Nunn went for the rebound, and now LeBron is in transition. Butler trying to size him up. LeBron taking his time. Stopped by Butler. And he's lost it out of bounds. This will be Heat ball. No, they'll stay here, actually. It got knocked out of his hands on the baseline.
Yeah, I think what they're saying is that the Crowder hit of the ball is the one that bounced out of bounds, not the one off LeBron. Great play by Jimmy Butler.
Yeah, there. I mean, that is tough with LeBron coming downhill at you. But LeBron not having a good game in the slightest so far, as Bam is going to take another break here in favor of Olynyk. Iguodala still guarding Anthony Davis. Here's Danny Green off the screen on the baseline out of bounds. And Davis is fouled on the rebounding action. First time he's been able to get involved there.
Yeah, and I believe that's Miami's second foul of the quarter so far, so not even particularly close to real difficulty there. Lakers have committed 3. Off the top of my head, I don't know if I think those are all team fouls in the normal concept. Davis
looking to post up Butler off the switch. And they throw it away again. Davis
I
was,
think that's LeBron's 5th turnover
yeah, I
of
mean,
the half.
credit the Heat, just this fronting of the post, they've just made it too difficult to get the ball in there. I mean, it's just an absolute 180 from how it was in game two. Davis is now back on Butler. Olynyk fakes the screen. They get their action going, and then Olynyk throws it away.
And throwing a pass that hard needs to be really accurate. It was a little bit behind Kendrick Nunn, so made it incredibly difficult to make a catch.
LeBron will sit again in favor of Rondo here, getting his second break of the first half. Swinging around here with Rondo on the pick and roll. Pop is Markieff, but Olynyk is there, and then he just gives up the easy drive for the dunk. That was pathetic individual defense by Kelly Olynyk.
Yeah, and then Miami just didn't really have anybody on the AD cut there, so he was able to get in for the finish.
Robinson got it stripped, gets it back. It was deflected, so no backcourt. None. Trying Caruso, can't go anywhere. Olynyk, deep three. That's short. Lakers defense starting to be hurt here a little bit. Caruso attacking Iguodala, sprays out the pass to Green. His three is way short. Olynyk flopped down and then couldn't get the rebound, and they give up a three as a result.
Yeah, and we've seen Miami's defensive rebounding has been way better since the disaster in game two. That possession was a little bit more like it. No one was more like game two. There was no one really there for the rebound. Markieff Morris, bang.
Yeah, pretty rough sequence there for Olynyk where he gets beaten by Markieff Morris to set up a dunk. Then he misses the three, and then he flops down and can't get the rebound, and they get another three.
From BK11, do you have any recommended sites to learn more about contracts and other cap-related stuff? Larry Kuhn's CBA FAQ is really where I got started, and that was also the inspiration for what I call the CBA Encyclopedia, which is at Real GM. You can just search CBA Encyclopedia Real GM, and that's me, and then I edited pieces by another series of writers, and that's explaining some of the basic concepts. I think those two are a place to start, and then there's good writing all over. Once you basically one of the other things you can do is just search a concept, and you can try to find something on that, like whatever a specific thing is. There's a lot of good work out there now.
Indeed, there is.
Oh, SBC, yeah, that's another recommendation that would help too.
Well, actually, Larry Kuhn is starting a virtual CBA class as well through SBC. I think I'm actually going to have him on the pod to talk about that in a couple of weeks, most likely.
What's driving the Lakers turnovers can't all be fronting the post. It's not all that. I mean, but the other ones are kind of more within flow. LeBron lost the ball driving to the basket once. A couple of things like that. Well, but I think a lot passes to AD is a large portion.
Yeah, it's not only fronting the post; it's also just that they're clogging the shit out of the lane, and
right.
And the Lakers are a team that tries to get to the basket.
Our front office is high on Kyle Kuzma. Should the Lakers look to package him and Danny Green for salary matching? I don't know. I mean, Kuzma, to me, he's certainly impressed relative to where he was drafted. He was somebody that we didn't know at all going back to, we hadn't watched his film when he was at Utah, and then he was intriguing in summer league, had some nice footwork, offensive tools. But now we're getting closer to him being properly paid. He becomes a restricted free agent in 2021 when lots of guys are going to get paid. So I think that I don't think he's intensely valued, and I think he's more of a floor raiser than a ceiling raiser. I think you see that with his role on the Lakers. And Danny Green, I think, can help this Lakers team. So I don't know what a Kuzma Green package is getting you that is dramatically better than Danny Green.
Can you touch on the benefits and downsides of AD guarding Jimmy Butler? I think the benefit is if you go under, then you still have someone waiting at the rim, right? Because if it's a like-size guy, you go under. Now Butler has a head of steam, and it's really hard to stop him. Anthony Davis, number one, can guard Butler, I think, the best in an ISO of anyone because Butler's not really beating you with quickness. He's trying to beast guys a little bit. And then if you go under, Davis is still waiting there under the rim for him, and it could make it difficult. So they haven't succeeded in applying that strategy that much. They did it once there, but something to keep watching here, as is whether the Lakers are going to be able to score with LeBron out of the game.
Right, and another reason for AD guarding Butler is that then LeBron doesn't have to do it. And if those are the only two players that can really defend him competently, and we've seen like then having AD, it saves LeBron from some of that workload.
Are Bam and Butler the best defensive duo in the league? No, I don't think that Butler is at that level, particularly anymore during the regular season, where he's spending very little time guarding the best guy.
Giannis and Brook Lopez. I mean, I had those
Yeah,
two. I had Giannis as my defensive player of the year, and I think I had Lopez third. And they're the best. Like
yeah,
the Bucks have been maybe the best rim protecting team of all time.
yeah. That's a good one. Although when you get into the playoffs, maybe less so. All right,
True.
let's see if Miami can respond here now after a quick 5-0 run. It is still Davis guarding Butler. Hero looking to set a double screen. They've struggled to guard. They get the matchup they want. Butler with the batting practice step back, but Morris contested it more than he expected that time. Now it's Caldwell Pope in transition, missing the three. Green could not get the rebound. Green still trying to pressure up full court. Now it's Hero. Iguodala slipping the screen. They get it to him underneath. Iguodala with a total record scratch under the rim. He had an easy left-handed layup, and he's apologizing to Jimmy Butler right now for not taking that one. Yeah, between Iguodala and Butler, these are like the two most athletic guys in the league who pass out of the most layups.
Yeah, no, like I think Butler caught Jimmy Butler's left arm before getting a good contest with after that. So that makes it a foul. Jimmy Butler shooting free throws. And the free throw disparity so far, I believe these are 9 and 10 for the Heat. The Lakers have taken 3, all by LeBron James.
Yeah, Lakers shooting has cooled off a little bit. They've only made now one of their last 6 after starting 4 of 5. Heat 3 for 11 from downtown. Butler making the second. Rondo coming off the Davis screen. They don't switch that. Iguodala stays home. KCP came off 2 screens to the weak side. That was stopped as well. Late clock. They got to go with the pick and roll here. Rondo. Now they switch it late. Oh, nice pass underneath. Just the slightest miscommunication from Iguodala and Nunn blew that one. You should switch that late clock. He tried to get back to Rondo, and Rondo saw that immediately. Iguodala
And
was
Bam
already
got
there.
there a little late too.
Here's Hero off the Bam screen into the lane, floats it way up, and ooh,
Tough shot.
that was very close to a third foul on Adebayo on that rebound. Lakers looking to take the lead. Rondo, they do a good job of not switching that handoff action. Now they get AD involved, and they will switch this. There's another deflection trying to enter the ball. Now Butler getting into Davis. 3 guys loading to Davis. He takes an impossible fadeaway, and Adebayo rebounds, but gets it taken away by Rondo underneath Green, and he lays it in. So the Rondo gambit against a team that doesn't run a lot. Rondo loves to go for those steals off the offensive rebound. It works that time. The Lakers lead. Hero gets the switch. They get it to Butler against KCP. Double team comes. Hero swings it around. Nunn, his three-pointer goes down. They take advantage of the double.
Nunn, confident three-point shooter.
Rondo on the fake DHO. Sprays out the pass. Swing it around. Nice defense by Adebayo to prevent the swing. Now he's there on Markieff, and Rondo tips it out again. Rondo on the offensive glass making some hay. Adebayo looking a little tired here, I would say, Danny. Rondo swings it out. Markieff on the drive. Good opportunity drive. Sets up the 3, and KCP can't get it. You see Adebayo, his closeout, last couple of closeouts have been very slow due to his fatigue. He's going to try and attack, though, off the dribble on the inside out. Gives it up. They don't post him up here. Now they do. Butler trying to attack. Swings it. Hero. Butler on the drive. What a catch from Adebayo and a simultaneous pass. What a shame that didn't go down. That was one of the best plays I've seen in a long time.
Yeah, I'm amazed that he was able to do that and stay in balance.
Rondo blowing by Hero. Driving kick. Passes off, though. They swing it around. Davis going at Hero. Falls down. No call. Lots of pass faking. Green's corner 3. And Heat are actually just having too much trouble staying in front of their men in individual defense right now.
Yeah, it's sort of like what happened at moments in the Rockets series.
Butler leaves for Iguodala. No foul is called. Hero on the drive, left hand, and I think they're going to say this is outside on the floor as KCP tried to strip him from behind.
Yeah, but so that means the shot doesn't count, but this is 2 free throws for Tyler Hero. And we should see LeBron check into the game. He's been at the scores table for about 2 minutes.
Yeah, so last 2:02 here with the Lakers leading it by 2. Sorry, last 2:24. I was looking at the box score. Hero makes the first. He's favoring that right hand a bit. Yes. Well, we're professionals. We should be able to come up with something to talk about when they're showing the in-arena fans as Hero misses the second free throw. Or not in-arena fans, I should say. Heat don't really know who they have, and now they're stuck. Oh, they're going zone here, I think. Maybe not. But whatever happened, they just gave up a missed layup from LeBron. LeBron has struggled to finish. Now here's Nunn going at Markieff Morris, who gets the stop, and 2 Heat run into each other on the offensive rebound.
And interesting, so Morris threw the ball to the ref. The ref, I think, waited for everybody to get up. They were kind of in the way of the pass. I think Lakers would have wanted to run there.
Yeah, it's a dead ball, though, so
yeah.
You don't really get to do that on a dead ball. On a make, absolutely.
Sure.
Rondo setting up Morris, who has been busy at the three-point line. Hero looking to just go at LeBron James, and a poor decision. It'll remain Lakers ball. James saying he did not hit it, and Zach Zarba is going to talk about it here. James can't believe it. He says he never touched the ball. But we're going to stay right here, despite his protests.
And LeBron is right.
Yep. Now, LeBron may have also committed a foul there.
Yeah.
So, just result.
Yeah, I'd say that's a just result. Though it was hand-on-hand contact.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd say that's a just result.
But pretty dumb move by Tyler Hero. His confidence is refreshing, but also can get the better of him at times. But going one-on-one against LeBron James is probably not the best use of a possession for the Miami Heat. Let's hit some questions here before that's what we should do when they start showing the virtual crowd. Which basketball podcast would you suggest besides your own, of course? The Hollinger and Duncan podcast and Real Jam Radio, perhaps. Outside of that, the two ESPN ones are pretty good. Low and Windhorse. Those are Ben Taylor, if you don't know him, the Thinking Basketball podcast. He was actually my partner on the COVID Daily News that we did together, but also a basketball analyst by trade. He does a really good job with that. His YouTube page, Thinking Basketball, is also fantastic. What about you, Danny?
You just rattled through the main ones that I do, and then if you're more interested in I kind of think of them as more in basketball personality, though their analysis is there too. You have Count the Dings and No Dunks and all those, which are great guys too. It's just a little bit. I think of it as a little bit different, but they're a lot of fun.
Yeah, Ethan Strauss's pod is good too. I mean,
yeah,
there's a lot of good ones out there.
Josh Lloyd's fantasy one is really good.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, Locked On Fantasy Basketball.
Oh yeah, and Nerder She Wrote is good as well.
Yeah, that's the Thursday podcast for The Athletic.
Of The Athletic.
So this apparently was a challenge, and it will be Laker ball. Would you use the challenge on that one?
No, because the return is pretty limited. I mean, yeah, you do get the ball, but Miami was going to have it with 15 seconds left. You don't take any points off the board. You don't take any fouls off the board.
Yeah, I mean you probably got yourself 0.9 points expected value with that challenge. Now, I mean, but the beauty of it at least is that you're 100% sure just about that you're going to win it.
Yeah, and it's funny. I was going to bring up the point that if that was the type of call that, if reviewed late in a game, would have gone to the Lakers, and then that ended up being reviewed and going to the Lakers.
LeBron going to screen for Rondo here. They try to avoid the switch. They don't. Rondo on the drive. Man, Lakers missing a ton of layups. Good save from Crowder. Now it's Butler. He's going to attack Caruso in transition. And no, they're going to give the offensive foul. And if you're the Heat, you have to be very displeased by that because a very similar call, LeBron James against Hero, doesn't get it.
Yeah, almost identical.
Yeah, it is almost identical because Butler, his arm is at his side when the contact takes place too, but Caruso has a better flopping reputation, I guess. Iguodala has done well guarding Anthony Davis, who's been very quiet. Rondo on the pick and roll. That time he misses another layup, but I think they're going to say this is a loose ball foul on Crowder shoving Davis in the back in the offensive rebounding. And that's one way you can open up the offensive glass is by missing layups.
Yeah, and so far in the game, the Lakers 10 of 17 in the restricted area. 17 attempts, very good, but missing 7 of those, and 5 offensive rebounds compared to 3 for Miami.
Yeah, LeBron, though, has missed some easy ones.
Yes.
They go under on Rondo, swing it back to LeBron at the elbow. He'll just take the mid-ranger, pick and pop from the elbow there from LeBron. You don't see that too often. A little early for the 2-for-1. LeBron now is guarding Jimmy Butler. With Davis on Iguodala, he can help out more often. Nunn, who's played a ton here, he's going to attack Iguodala on the cut. That opens up Hero, and Hero just has not been able to score. Now Rondo's in transition. They got to get the 2-for-1 here. Swing it around to Davis. He's open. Run off the line, however. Back to goal. Crowder comes over to help out. Caruso in the corner. Good close from Hero. Doesn't matter. Another corner 3 from the Lakers. They don't quite get a clean 2-for-1 there, though. About a 4-second differential. And it's back to Davis on LeBron, or on Jimmy Butler here now. LeBron going to try and pre-switch this screen. They'll set another one to involve Caruso in the action. Here's Crowder. His 3 is way short. Hero recovers, and it drops in. 3.1 left, and LeBron will just buzzer clutch the shit out of the ball, and that's how we'll go to halftime. Not much in the way of offensive fireworks here. Both teams seem to have figured each other out on defense right now, and Caruso hopefully is going to be okay. We'll get more word on him in the second half, and we'll take a little bit of a break here for about 10 minutes, come back and talk second half. All right, welcome back, everyone, to a low scoring first half here, 49-47 at halftime. Jimmy Butler leading the Heat with 13 points, did all of his damage in the first quarter from the field. And for the Lakers, it's actually Kentavious Caldwell-Pope, the leading scorer. LeBron James, a massive struggle, 8 points, 3 of 8, 5 turnovers. And Anthony Davis, 8 points on 4 of 7, but basically none of that has been self-created. So let's talk a little bit about our sponsor, Bookies.com, then we can take some questions.
Absolutely. And bookies.com is really all about information. They have expert picks, they have those live odds, and it's a great resource whether you're doing spreads, money lines, totals, or parlays. You have all of that with their amazing infrastructure and those expert picks. And also, you can follow them at Bookies on Twitter. They do a great job kind of putting in content that could be useful to you, and they do a great job of promoting this show, which is great for us.
Yeah, absolutely. And some of the things that you can get there are great click-through offers. PointsBet, deposit $250, get $250 in free bets. With the promo code BookiesNJ, you can deposit $500, get $500 in free bets at BetMGM, and Unibet, deposit $600, get a $600 risk-free bet plus $30 in free bets at Bookies.com. Let's get to work here with a question or two before the second half starts.
Wait, I missed what you just said. Sorry.
Oh, I said let's take a question or two before the second half starts.
Sure. Do you think Kendrick Nunn could be an effective starter on a playoff team? Why or why not? I don't think he generates good shots enough for himself and teammates when we're talking about the 16 best teams in the league. So my instinct would be no. I think he could maybe do it on a low end playoff team, but I wouldn't expect it.
Why do you think Spo has changed lineups so much from the last game? More Nunn and Iguodala, less Robinson and Kelly Olynyk. The foul trouble for those guys has been big, and also Iguodala and Nunn have been playing better.
Yeah. Any thoughts on the Storm? I haven't watched as much WNBA this year as I wanted to, but I did watch part of the game today, and I was really impressed with how they played after Breanna Stewart got her third foul. And I was like, oh, this is a stretch for the Aces to come back. And they were really good in that stretch, and I'm like, oh, it's donezo. And then third quarter, Stewart goes crazy, and then the game is basically over.
All right, we are back here. 49-47. Davis continues on Jimmy Butler. LeBron is guarding Bam. Here's Butler looping a pass out. Crowder setting up Bam. Back to Crowder. Beautiful ping, and Crowder can't get the three. That could have given Miami the lead. Crowder has struggled so far. Green on the drive against Robinson, who gave him the arm bar and then showed his hands to avoid the foul. LeBron waving people around. They want to go at Hero. Instead, it's the quick three from Morris. That rims out. Good rebound by Adebayo. He'll push it up. Guarded by LeBron James. They avoid the switch. Back to Adebayo again. Robinson into the corner. KCP all over him. He did a good job on him in game 3 as well. That used up most of the clock. Adebayo left to take the mid-ranger over LeBron, and he continues his hot mid-range shooting in these playoffs.
Yeah, and that's a big surprise considering Bam struggled on a lot of those shots during the regular season.
And not much of an effort defensively from LeBron late in the clock to put pressure on him. Trying to post up Davis on some screening action. That goes nowhere. 5 on the clock. They throw the flaming bag to Danny Green. He's just going to have to shoot it over Hero. And that misses. Awful possession for the Lakers. Again, their attempt to post up fails. Here's Bam finding Butler on the drive, and he can't finish it, but it'll put a foul on Anthony Davis.
And I believe that's only Davis's second. Remember, foul trouble plagued him in game 3. And yeah, looks like a foul to me.
So Butler will have the chance to give Miami the lead here. What adjustments have we seen from Vogel? Corey asked, while putting Davis on Jimmy Butler is the biggest one, as Jimmy Butler misses that free throw.
No Dwight to start the second half. That's an adjustment.
Yeah. Yeah, how did we not talk about that until just now?
I was going to. The action was really fast at the start, so there wasn't really a time to go through the personnel changes.
So a 1 point Miami lead. Trying to post up LeBron here, set the back screen. Again, they're taking so long to get into their offense. Now it's Davis trying to post up instead of three from Green. Hero getting back into the rebounding action. Robinson not really a threat to go 1-on-4. Gets it back to Butler. Handoff Hero. Butler on the roll. Tried to pull up. Instead, great closeout from KCP, but the Heat are just pinging it around. Here's Davis forcing out a ridiculous floater from Tyler Hero. Man, Tyler Hero is not bashful, I'll tell you that. Butler going under on LeBron. Here's Green on the drive into Adebayo. Loops it out. Intercepted. 3-on-2 here for Miami. Butler pushing it. Crowder stepping behind the line. That's short again. Jay Crowder. That was tough footwork, though. He might have been better served to bring that all the way to the rim with the 3-on-2.
Or to give it to Hero on the other side because KCP committed to Butler.
Green trying the 1-on-1. They loop it around. Morris, three-pointer. That goes down. Markieff Morris. A needed three-pointer to open the scoring for the Lakers here in the third. Robinson on the screen. Adebayo going into James, who commits the blocking foul. And even LeBron James has had some difficulty containing Bam Adebayo off the dribble.
Absolutely, and that's only LeBron's first. He is not a high foul player, but that moves the Heat closer to being in the bonus.
I mean, this might be the highest floater I've ever seen. That's insane.
At least the highest one I've ever seen go in.
Yeah.
I mean, I've seen him go over the backboard before.
Bam hits the first free throw to break the 52-all deadlock.
And that's something you see, like you and I get the benefit of watching warm-ups sometimes. I haven't seen Hero do this, but there are a lot of players who practice, maybe not that degree of arc, but practice a lot of those shots. Steph Curry, reminder, he takes a lot of weird shots in warm-ups, and then you see him do them sometimes in games.
2 free throws for Bam. Going to try and bring KCP off of screens on the weak side. Now it's Green instead. He'll try and drive it again. This is exactly what they want to see, is Danny Green driving the ball a ton. Morris, 1-on-1 against Hero. That's also what they want to see. Again, a Miami guard looping back for the rebound. Butler sizing up Green into Davis. Now Bam going at Davis. Gets past him. Stopped that time by Anthony Davis. Butler loses it underneath. He had ripped it away and then got it taken away by Green himself. James, again, not looking to be too aggressive. Tried to slip the pass to Caldwell Pope.
Well, and that was a situation where LeBron could have also attacked because Miami's best rim protector was standing out at the three-point line guarding Anthony Davis. So he could have gotten into the lane and there wouldn't have been much help.
Robinson staying with LeBron. Now LeBron the deep three. That goes down. Big shot for LeBron James, and he's going to need to get more aggressive, I think, on these plays. Now they almost throw it away. They do. Davis, and then he traveled. He landed there, I thought, before he gave it up, but it's going to be Miami ball regardless. So,
and Davis looking to his right, not his left there, and so that's part of what led to the ball going just straight out of bounds. But I think he traveled before he let go of it, as you did.
Screen on the near side for Robinson. He goes back door instead. Then Green tipping it away. Butler trying to sprint back at Danny Green, and I thought he was actually going to maybe get him. And while I appreciate the hustle from Jimmy Butler, it takes a lot to sprint back like that. I might just say it's a better use of their energy to just not do it.
And that's 3 straight turnovers for the Miami Heat.
Hero coming to the near side. Butler looking for the Robinson screen. Just takes the set shot 3. Jimmy Butler, that misses. Laker defense starting to assert itself here. James with a pep in his step, but Adebayo doing a good job denying him. James backdoor. Crowder comes over for the help, but James with too good of hands. And the Lakers now with a nice run, call it 10-3 here to get back into the lead.
And it's interesting. The box score is logging this as 60 to 54 when it has it as 59-54. Maybe there's going to be an adjustment coming, or maybe they just screwed up the logging. We'll see. So let's take some questions.
How did Jimmy's free throw rate explode so much this season? It can't be another increase like that 5 years into a career. Well, actually, a guest on the Dunked On podcast, I think, had a similar free throw rate increase. Damari Carroll, who talked about how he was really trying to find these like little ways to get to the foul line. But I think for Butler, he just kind of came to a realization that he wasn't as good of a finisher as he used to be, and so we've seen him pass out of those drives a lot more. And he also, I think, is just focusing on it a lot more. And he's so strong and violent that when he attacks the shoulders of guys, he's able to draw these fouls and put them into compromising positions.
Oh, that's an interesting one from Dylan Rogers. I'm sure we'll talk about this when we do the Blazers preview. But do you think Gary Trent Jr. will consider the 451 extension? We'll call it the Josh Richardson. And does the answer change when he signed with Clutch? Clutch generally has been very aggressive, not exclusively, but generally has been aggressive. But they have done a couple of, extensions where it was like the Draymond Green one, where it was the most the Warriors could give him. I also think that the Draymond extension was a good decision for Draymond Green. So I would actually consider, with Gary Trent, with the momentum and the potential role that we'll see what role he's going to have with the Blazers. I think I would wait. I think I would roll the dice and see where it goes. Oh, wow. What a question from Michael Zahorik. Would you rather have Jim Boylan or Jason Kidd as your coach? I would rather have Jim Boylan, but there are circumstances where I would rather have Kidd because Boylan, it seems like the going back to like the mutiny and just the whole punch clock approach. I think that there are teams where the alienation is a bigger problem, even though his process was better with the Bulls than Jason Kidd's was with the Bucks.
Well, interestingly, they both used a very aggressive pick and roll scheme. Yeah, I mean, if I could just have Kidd talk to the media and Jim Boylan
and run practices probably, yeah. But have Boylan do the schemes.
Yeah, although that's maybe being unfair to Jason Kidd, who actually was the coach of a playoff team a couple of times, whereas Jim Boylan
and I thought he did a relatively decent job with the Nets.
Yeah, and I mean 2015, you'd have to say he did well with the Bucks also, but that team got a little bit lucky in terms of teams missing threes against them and stuff. So.
Yeah. Also, if you get Jim Boylan, then you get Stefano, you get his Boylan quote generator back, which would be exciting. Let's see. What high-minute guards do you trust the least to handle the ball against pressure?
Oh, Danny Green.
Yeah, I guess he counts as a guard. That's true. Yeah, he is a guard that doesn't dribble. I was thinking more in the point guard range. Yeah. What current assistant coach is likely to become a head coach within the team? The cheap but also correct answer is Ty Lue. Darvin Ham has gotten buzz. Sam Cassell, Vanderpool. Those are a couple.
Chris Finch. All right, let's see what we got here. Robinson setting the screen on AD. They try to go under. Robinson sets it low. That sets up the Crowder corner three. Morris had to help and perhaps over help on the Butler drive, and Miami needed that one, and Crowder needed that one. Watch the weak side here as Green gets the screen. Then he sets it on LeBron. They go way under on him. It's Bam on LeBron. LeBron going to try Bam here as he did in game one. Steps back. Tough three. Goes down again for LeBron James. And if LeBron James is hitting that, you're done on that possession. Here's Butler going at Davis. Tried to finish over him. Did not get the call. Davis has been a monster contesting shots in this game. James hunting the shot. Instead, it's Davis back to James. Going to go at Duncan Robinson here as James is starting to feel it. KCP stepping out. Good switch. Now James has Robinson, though. They're going to have to send help here. Crowder, look where he is. off of KCP, and LeBron draws the Harden-esque foul with 5 on the shot clock. LeBron did not throw it to Kentavious Caldwell-Pope, and he's going to shoot free throws here. This is going to be a shooting foul.
Yeah, and that is on Duncan Robinson, which makes it his third. Duncan Robinson, the first player with 3 fouls in this game. AD, Bam, Kelly Olynyk all have 2. Oh, and Iguodala.
Yeah, so James beginning to take over. He wasn't particularly aggressive even at the start of this quarter, but hit a couple of threes, and that seems to have gotten him going, although he misses the free throw.
Yeah, and these are only the 4th and 5th free throws for the Lakers in this game, all taken by LeBron James. AD and everyone else, 0.
Yeah, you saw there, by the way, on the time before, why it is that they have Davis on Butler, because when he drives, Davis can still contest him. Robinson setting the screen. Same play they just ran, actually, to get that crowded 3. AD goes under successfully. Now they want to involve Robinson. Off the screen, his jump shot goes down, and that is a really good way for the Heat to take advantage of the way Davis is playing Butler. He's so far off of him so he can go under any screen, so Butler hands off to Robinson and sets the screen on KCP. Davis against Adebayo. Lost a shoe, and he's going to take a timeout. Smart timeout there from Davis. Did you see what happened? Did someone step on his foot to make him lose his shoe?
I didn't see anything.
Yeah, here, watch this. With Davis off of Butler, they're just trusting KCP to stay with Duncan Robinson. And KCP has largely done an outstanding job. I mean, and he's right there this time. He's
right
too.
there.
I mean, Duncan Robinson is a wonderful shooter.
Let's get some quick. Will 2021 inevitably have some sour 16 style contracts? Oh, you better believe it. I mean, so this is kind of what I was getting at a little bit with the so I wrote this piece for The Athletic called The Siren Song, and basically I'm going to write a different, I have already started working on a kind of a companion piece to that, which is where it might be going. And that is, there's so much money that's going to be out there, and there are so few players that are worth it. And so inevitably, some of those teams are just going to sign bad contracts. Like, that's just the way it's going to work. I don't think it's going to be the volume of 2016, but there will be a lot of them. Who has played better in this game and why? I thought the Heat played a little bit better in the first half. They were getting, I liked the shots they were getting more overall, though they did benefit from some good shot making in 2-point range. I would say so far though in the third, the Lakers have pushed it back the other way. So I'd say maybe the Lakers by a teeny bit.
Here we go. If you had to bet which team is Victor Oladipo playing for next year?
I still think the Pacers have the plurality, like that they're the most likely, just because it's hard to know exactly where that would be. But and there have obviously been some murmurs already. But for Indiana, I mean, you really run into this situation if the trade is happening during the season of who's really going to give you something of value for it. And that team has to have a lot of confidence that Oladipo, not only is Oladipo going to sign there as a free agent, or theoretically, I guess he could extend, but that also you prefer Oladipo to any of the other options. And so that's really where you're going to get a premium. And that's a lot easier for a guy like Anthony Davis than it is for Oladipo. Do you disagree?
No, I mean, it's the fact that the Knicks are rumored to be interested in him kind of makes sense, because that would be a very Knicksy move to pick up a guy.
Oh God, if they play him and RJ together, or give up RJ for Oladipo?
Oh, they wouldn't do that, I don't think.
I don't.
Although,
think so.
I mean, who knows? New regime, maybe they would. Yeah. Let's see here. One more as we look at the Mandalorian season 2. I enjoyed that show.
Yeah,
but,
so did I.
But that's not what people are here to see.
Do you think that Trae Young will struggle in the playoffs like Kemba Walker did because of his size? I think he will defensively, But I also think that the pull-up jump shooting could be a really big challenge for certain teams in the playoffs, especially if you can do it in transition.
Um, well, yeah, you mentioned defensively, and I think he could be vulnerable to switching or junk defenses in the similar way that Walker was. Absolutely.
Yeah, that's true.
But he's a better passer than Walker and a better deep shooter. So, but I think this is really a big reason why he has to develop his off-ball game. Here's James throwing it away all of a sudden here. The drive by Crowder, and he's going to get run into by Morris. So thanks for that, ABC. It was really awesome to see how that turnover happened.
And I mean, LeBron throwing a no chancer from the corner. There, when you throw it and it's not that hard, there are a lot of different people that could read it and break on that ball. It's kind of like a quarterback throwing a duck over the middle.
So Crowder a chance to bite into this lead here. Of course, we talked about it on previous episodes, but Crowder and Rondo actually were traded for one another in 2015, a deal that worked out much better for the Boston Celtics. They got a draft pick, which I think was that the that become Ante Zizic?
That seems plausible, but I'm not sure.
I can't remember if it was 2015
Interesting
or
that
16.
LeBron. I mean, he's been playing very well. That he is not coming out now. This is around when it
Yeah.
might happen. So LeBron and AD are both in.
Yeah, Rondo usually would get LeBron at this time. Maybe there'll be a shorter break for LeBron, but he'll still go out. He's at the elbow. They want to run this pin down here. Soriano actually said they would run this same play, and Davis gets the three because what Miami is doing is they're having the guard hang back in the paint on that. So Davis went behind the screen and got open. Butler trying to play make. KCP is doing a great job on Duncan Robinson overall. Then he has to switch on to Nunn. Nunn putting him in the mix on the drive, floats it back. That is an awesome defensive possession by Kentavious Caldwell-Pope, and he's one of the best in the league at chasing shooters around screens.
Yeah, and the seamless switch there, reacting to Jimmy Butler and getting that ball out of bounds. Miami only has 6 to get it back in.
Crowder handing off. Big screen set by Crowder. Butler has to fade over Kuzma. Great defense by Kuzma. Lakers defense has really picked up here in the second half. Now it's Bam guarding LeBron. They want to go after Robinson again. Now they can't. LeBron just wants to take Adebayo. You see the guys at the elbows for the Heat. He gives it up. Rondo now has to go one-on-one against Robinson, interestingly, and he just throws it against the baseline and off a Heat player. But what a weird possession that was. And now they'll run their baseline out of bounds play with 5 on the clock.
And I guess they're not calling that a kick on Jay Crowder. I'm fine with that. I'm surprised. They usually do.
Davis is going to have to take the tough jumper here against Butler. Way on the baseline. Oh, man, what a shot.
And Davis, that just pushes him over double figures in this game.
Nunn trying to slip the screen. Robinson as Davis comes out at him. Butler in the lane. Davis did well to get back, but they kick it out to Nunn for 3. Man, this level of defense right now by both teams is off the charts. Rondo against Crowder. Davis trying to post up. Gives up. Butler fronted him. Now they want to set the pick and roll with LeBron. Trying to set it flat. LeBron with a way out 3. And I think this may take place before the shot by LeBron. We'll see. This is going to be an interminable review, but it could be a 4-point play.
Get your questions in.
Yeah.
Because that's better. That's better for us to do.
Oh yeah, they noted that it was Yabusele, and the Crowder Rondo. Wait, I don't know if that's true. Dallas. Yabusele was before Zizic. That's right. Yabusele was 16 and Zizic was 23 that year. That's right. I kept thinking that Zizic got drafted first because he was the better draft pick by a very slight margin there.
Yeah, it was Yabusele. And then the second that they got in that trade became Demetrius Jackson, who I know most because he had a small cap hold that was stretched that was on my sheet for 5 damn years.
Isn't it still there? It's like $92,000 a year or something?
It might be. This is one for you because I wasn't watching then. Was Kurt Rambis actually good? Do you mean he's a coach or as a player? Because he was good as a player.
I think everyone knows that he wasn't good as a coach.
Yeah.
I mean, probably not. He was probably overrated. So what's the ruling here? No 3-pointer. So I've always hated that rule. And I think they should. I mean, by the way, LeBron's 3-point shooting in this quarter has been pretty ridiculous.
Yeah. From Iguana Superbike, which 28-year-old German big man would you rather have on your team between Maxi Kleba and Daniel Tice? There is an it depends. Like there is a circumstance thing. I actually think I like Kleba better just because you could use him in more circumstances. But Tice, I would say, was the better player this year.
I disagree. I think, well, I agree with you. I'd rather have Kleba, but I think Kleba is also the better player this year. Olynyk is in now. Bam is out. They got Iguodala in, and Butler forces the turnover. Goes at LeBron. LeBron with the chase down, and he can't believe that he was called for a foul. Let's see if we can catch it here. He does get him a little bit with the body.
And that was a very telegraphed pass by Kyle Kuzma. His hesitation made it easy for Jimmy Butler to get there. And I don't think if they had their challenge left, that would have been reversed just because those calls are so hard.
Yeah.
But that is an argument, against this. Like theoretically, had they changed that, it would have been, would have taken points off the board in a way that the one that they actually challenged did not.
Yeah, but that one, I mean, that's the difference, right? That one probably doesn't get overturned.
Yeah, I would not have used it there.
Yeah, James, not a high foul player, as we all know as well. Back to a 1-point game. I mean, this has been the intensity in this quarter. It has been an absolute bloodbath. Butler gets through the screen. Kuzma, corner. Yes, over Olynyk. Olynyk helping out just a little bit too much, and Olynyk has been awful defensively in this game.
Yeah, and Kuzma 2 for 4 on threes.
Butler against Kuzma tries to spray it out, and Davis again, man, he has been so good defensively. He just forced another turnover. Yeah, I mean, Olynyk he's closing out without his hand up. That's a problem. He didn't get his hand up until the shot's already away. Same play again for the Lakers. You can see Rondo trying to set some flare screens. So Robinson can just kind of hang out in the lane and take away the role of Davis. Instead, they swing it around. Olynyk almost gave up another open three. That was a helping without helping there from Olynyk. Now they hand off to Nunn. He's going to try Kuzma. Backs it out. Tough three by Nunn, and that misses. Butler on the offensive glass. Lucky bounce right to him. Butler going to try Davis. Off the glass. Missed again,
man. That's a tough shot.
I mean, how many contests has Anthony Davis had in this game? Here's KCP on the drive. Sets it up for Davis. That goes down. Lakers
That's
starting
a big
to
shot.
Yep, these 3-pointers from the Lakers. And
really, remember how that started? That was a late Kelly Olynyk contest. KCP got in, forced help, and then AD was wide open.
Here's Butler leaving it for Iguodala. Lakers help defense, causing big problems now for Miami. Here's Olynyk on the roll, going into Kuzma, and he's fouled. Good cut there by Olynyk. And, I mean, Miami, they just never rest with these cuts, but the Lakers always seem to have help available in this quarter when they get towards the rim.
And AD benefiting from something we talk about a lot with Kristaps Porzingis, which is tall players have such a higher release point. And so that was a pretty decent contest by Iguodala there, but AD is so tall it didn't affect him at all.
So this is now 12 of 27 from downtown for the Lakers in this game, 46%. That's counteracting their free throw shooting, where you mentioned they've only taken 5 free throws compared to 22 for Miami.
And both teams hovering around 50% from 2-point range so far in this game.
Yeah, Miami only 6 out of 22 from downtown, so that really has been the game. You can still argue that Miami has outplayed them to some degree, although clearly the Miami strategy is to let the Lakers take open threes. Rondo, as Robinson goes under on him, wow, that's a brick. Butler, who has really been controlled by Davis in this quarter, they successfully go under on Butler, and now they're going to get Rondo for a hold, and there's going to be more free throws here for Duncan Robinson.
And that looked like a pretty obvious hold by Rondo, and he had the challenge of doing so directly in front of the referee using his left hand, so that's easy for them to call.
And with KCP out of the game, I want to see if Robinson can get loose for Miami now, because they don't really have. I would probably prefer Caruso on him than Rondo. Rondo is not at age 34 chasing Duncan Robinson around for days and days is not necessarily his game. Butler is going to take a short break here. I imagine he'll probably be back to start the fourth quarter.
I agree.
And Hollinger has talked about this. Many people have talked about this. That closing kick from the Miami Heat as LeBron getting his first rest as well of this quarter. That closing kick for the Miami Heat in the fourth quarter, are the Lakers going to be able to withstand that if it's at all close going down the end?
Well, and how are the Lakers going to try to make their rotation work in this third and fourth quarter without any big men minutes at all?
Oh, no Howard. No, yeah, I think they are. Here's Davis against Iguodala. Help comes from Robinson at the top. Davis getting it back. Iguodala with the active hands. Davis gets his first good look, misses it. None. Nice rebound. And the Heat can push it up here. Olynyk fakes the DHO, goes into Robinson, right through him for the lay-in. Frank Vogel is apoplectic on the sidelines if that wasn't an offensive foul. They go under on Rondo. AD pick and pop. Late close from Bam. Caruso beating Nunn to the rebound. Now Caruso along the baseline. They're going to get Robinson for the foul here, but LA not in the bonus.
If they call that a Robinson,
that's his
fourth. That is his fourth.
Well, and I think Spo would be foolish to take him out here because he has this good matchup with KCP out of the game right now.
And he did take him out.
Yeah, Spo is pretty orthodox about foul trouble. Davis trying to post up Iguodala. Gets it in the lane, has to step out. Double team comes again from Nunn. Rondo looking to pass it to AD. And, Iguodala hits Davis in the face. In theory, Iguodala can't believe it. And with the Lakers in the bonus now, wonder if this could be worth a challenge. Let's see if he gets him here.
I didn't see it, but that also wasn't the greatest camera angle.
No, it wasn't.
If Iguodala didn't hit him, that would be a spectacular flop by Anthony Davis.
Yeah, and I mean Andre has definitely been the king of protest on those strips. He has very active hands, and he's getting called for more fouls maybe than he used to. But maybe his hands are a little bit slower than they used to be too.
And these are the first free throws taken by a Laker that is not LeBron James. They are now 5 of 7 in the entire game. 3 of 5 for James, 2 of 2 for AD.
Yeah, Davis now guarding Adebayo with Butler out of the game. Hero trying to get past Rondo. His screens for Olynyk. Olynyk off the screen. What a shot there from Olynyk. Moving to his left, but it doesn't go down. That's a tough shot for a big guy. Tough shot for anyone, frankly. They go under again on Rondo successfully. No advantage gained. Davis tries Adebayo, floats it up, missed that shot. He's behind the play. Are they going to slow it down here? Yeah, they are going to slow it down, bail him out here. They kick it around. Hero underneath Olynyk swings it to Iguodala. They've got motion here. Hero got open. Another missed three. Oh, and what a terrible, terrible foul that is by Bam Adebayo.
And correctly called, too.
Yep.
That's Bam's fourth. It's an over-the-backbreaker, so Davis shoots free throws.
Yeah, Danny, remember that one. That is a killer. And they've had a couple of bad fouls on Anthony Davis. The Lakers have been getting nothing offensively, but Iguodala with 5 on the shot clock hits him in the face. And then the over-the-backbreaker, that time 2 non-shooting fouls have bailed out the Lakers, and they're going to, as a result, take the lead in. The other problem for the Heat is they just can't hit a three-pointer. They're 6 out of 25. Right.
And like I think the Heat's process defensively, I think they've done a great job in these Anthony Davis only minutes. The Lakers haven't gotten good stuff, but like it's been a lot of AD creating one-on-one. Remember that last possession before the one before he got fouled where they didn't get anything. And now is LeBron in as a defensive sub?
Yeah, that's surprising to me. I don't know why you would do that. They put Butler in for the last 4.7 seconds. I don't think it's important enough to have LeBron back in here just for this. Like, let him get a little more of a rest.
And Duncan Robinson back in, which I fully support.
Davis with a couple of free throws. Olynyk going to get it in to Butler. Butler pushing it up against James. Gets past him, gets him in the air. Three-pointer is way off, though. LeBron complaining about a potential travel, but it's a 5-point lead for the Lakers, and that is a hell of a stat right there. But if any team can break it, it's the Miami Heat.
Yeah, especially because the Lakers have had some real struggles offensively in crunch time. Miami, 6 of 25 on threes so far. They're 2 of 4 on corner threes and 4 of 21 on above the break threes. And you think that their best 3-point shooters take a lot of above the break ones, though I think some of those two in the corner were their best guys as well.
So, Danny, how are the picks of Adam Thompson and Mark Stroutman looking for this game?
So actually, you could argue. So okay, so the spread on this game was 7, and the Lakers are ahead by 5. But I think this has been closer than that. So I think Thompson's pick of the Heat covering a 7-point, I think that's looking pretty good, especially when you think about the crunch time. And then the over. Let me do a little bit of basic math here. It's looking like it's probably going to be an under game after that, so that part might not be as good.
Yeah, but bookies.com, not only do they have good expert picks, but they also have live updating odds. You don't have to keep hitting refresh. They will update for you so you can find the best place if there's a certain line that you're looking for to make your bet. And they got great click-through deals as well. And you can follow them at Bookies on Twitter and get a lot of good information that way as well.
What are some good quality of life changes that you would make to improve TV broadcasting for games? So I consider stopping Eurofouls to be a broadcast improvement. I actually think it's a very important one because that takes out the clear path. It just leads to more fast breaks. It's better highlights. Let's see.
Always show the main camera during live action.
Yes. Oh, that's a really, really big one. And make sure that you are back on live action, let's say a couple seconds before the inbound occurs anytime. That would make me very happy.
Yeah, so broadcast the game instead of your broadcast, essentially.
Yeah. I'm sure we could think of more.
I mean, I would much rather that they make up the revenue by just showing like a little banner ad at the bottom of the screen or something during
Absolutely.
live action, as opposed to just coming back from commercial so late, that kind of stuff. Or shit, I mean, why not just extend the break slightly longer instead, right? It's ridiculous that they wouldn't have that synced up. And especially at the end of games, too. You remember, TNT is actually the worst about this, too. Do you remember when we basically almost missed the game-winning shot from LeBron in Game 5 of the 2018 first round? Because they basically shifted back to, we were calling the game, and we're like, oh, we got plenty of time to, futz around, look at questions and stuff. And all of a sudden, they're inbounding the ball, and he's making the game-winning shot. And I was like, what the hell?
Yeah. Odds KCP opts out and leaves. Low. I mean, when you consider the Lakers,
well, he might opt out. I think those odds are pretty.
Yeah, but the opt out and I fully expect him to opt out. And leave. I just think especially with the clutch connection, yeah. I would be surprised. And I don't think the teams with cap space are interested in. We're back.
Yeah. So Markieff Morris actually played every minute of that third quarter, and he's still in. LeBron on the back screen against Butler. Where's the help going to come from here? Backing down into the lane, sets up Kuzma wide open in the corner. That misses. Heat with the rebound. Now they're in transition. Hero's behind Butler. Good job by the Lakers getting back. LeBron covered up Hero nicely. Let's see if Hero's going to try LeBron one-on-one again here. I don't know why they didn't just throw the ball to Butler with him guarded by Rondo instead of setting that screen.
Agreed.
Here's Nunn on the baseline, trying to work on Kuzma. Getting underneath him. Stopped nicely by Kuzma. James and Butler continue to match up. You imagine they will both be in for the duration. Here's a Rondo 3. That just curls out.
That was a lot closer than his one that didn't touch rim.
The Heat offense is really grinding to a halt here, particularly without Duncan Robinson. Butler trying to go at Markieff Morris. What a left-handed finish. Power move from Butler. Morris finding Kuzma on the baseline. Cut off by Nunn. Olynyk with the foul. Or maybe they'll say Nunn got him first. Yeah, he got him on the elbow.
Yeah, they called that on Nunn. That is the first foul for Miami in the fourth quarter. I always focus on fouls in this part stretch because it can give a team a safe harbor later in the quarter. And Miami, they've been so aggressive attacking Markieff Morris, and I think it's well suited. I mean, we've seen Jimmy Butler do it. We've seen Kelly Olynyk do it. They just don't think he's much of a deterrent.
Well, and I don't think he's terrible or anything, but he's also the easiest place to attack. And meanwhile, that was pretty bad defense by the Heat to just let Kuzma get wide open like that on the baseline. They didn't really do a good job of matching up. But Kuzma only 1 out of 2. Nunn, who has not played as well here in the second half. Iguodala runs in a circle to set the screen. LeBron going under on Butler again. Iguodala on the tough fading three-pointer. Man, they are just not getting good shots right now. And Olynyk, that was a bad gamble. Now they're going to give up a bucket because of this. Watch this. No, they say Caruso stepped out, bailed him out. But Olynyk, yeah, you're going to strip LeBron James after the rebound, Kelly?
Yeah, so he passed this Rondo. They had a 4-on-3 but couldn't generate a shot.
Iguodala now controlling up top. Hero gets the 3. Finally, a 3 goes down. And my screen actually glitched. I couldn't see exactly how that happened. Now here's Rondo trying Nunn. Cut off beautifully. Rondo tries again. James going at Butler along the baseline. Has to kick out. Still plenty of time, though, for the Lakers. Caruso in pick and roll. They'll go under on him. Another fumble. Morris has to go at Olynyk. Stepping back. Oh, and again, Kelly Olynyk is just killing Miami defensively.
Yeah, and I mean, it's giving the Lakers places to attack, and a lot of it has just been bad reactions to circumstances. Okay, he's going to shoot that shot. You don't need to bite that hard. You did what you needed to do. Just do a basic contest, and you're totally
Now,
fine.
Is this actually a foul, though?
I mean, I think it's a foul by Kelly Olynyk's face. I think his face hit Markieff Morris's elbow, and that counts.
Yeah, well, no challenge.
And like Markieff Morris did his normal shooting motion there. That wasn't any sort of thing like he went out of his way to strike Olynyk. And also, if it was Markieff moving forward. So I'm totally fine with that call.
Yeah, I mean, he was kind of stepping sideways a little bit as he was shooting it, but I didn't think it was like, Kevin Love style egregious.
So we got a question of why Olynyk and not Derek Jones Jr. I think it's because Miami need somebody who can space the floor more reliably on offense, and Olynyk keeps the ball moving. I think it's offense, not defense, that is leading to that decision.
So Davis is back now after a very short rest, and let's see if they bring back Adebayo here. They really should, frankly. Maybe there's a thought that he's not in amazing condition. Nunn has been holding the ball too long, I would say. Here, he's going to try Davis. This is not going to end well. Told you.
And Olynyk drilled Anthony Davis there. We'll see if they review this.
Yeah, they got to get Bam back in. This is terrible. Yeah, no, none went for the Chicago finish, but Anthony Davis with the Chicago block.
I was hoping for that. How did they slow mo this and then skip? I mean, the block was nice, but I wanted to see that if there was actually contact Olynyk to AD, but they didn't show it.
Yeah, it'll remain Laker ball. Adebayo still out of the game here. Olynyk good help that time off of Morris to force Caruso to pick up his dribble. LeBron trying to go baseline. Butler did well to stay with him. Short clock. LeBron has to go to the right shoulder fade. Goes down again. And the shot making of the Lakers has been just superior to what Miami has been able to do in this game. And that's why they lead it, despite what I think has been a very even contest so far.
And LeBron is 4 of 6 on jump shots in this game, 3 of 3 on threes. Oh, sorry, 2 of. Oh, maybe there's a logging issue there. They have it as 3 of 3 on the shot charts, but anyway.
Yeah. They maybe they never took off the one that got erased.
Yeah, that might be it. Why is Nunn getting so many minutes? He's been terrible. They need people who can create, off the dribble, and I think that's been a part of it. But it's so fun. I've basically been saying Kendrick Nunn is playing too much almost every single game, and I continue to say it. 2 for 11 from the field for him. Kendrick Nunn has missed all 5 of his 2-pointers in this game.
Yeah, and so I mean I think Robinson and Adebayo, with 4 fouls both being out. Robinson's only played 24 minutes, and I think they missed an opportunity to have him out there when KCP was off the floor. That was not so good, and Bam Olynyk just has been a big problem, and with the Lakers finding some success going under on these Butler screens finally and avoiding the switch, you could argue they certainly should have tried that earlier. As many were calling for, the spacing that he's providing hasn't been as effective on the offensive end either.
Other than 3-point percentage, what other variable do you use to evaluate a player's shooting skill? True shooting is good. You can look at their shots by location. Free throw percentage is obviously good. Depending on how recently it occurred, how a player shot both from the line, from 3, deep mid-range if you can get it in college, a lot of different ways that you can do it. And also now, something that I like to look at, depending on what you're trying to measure, is you can get splits on off the dribble versus catch and shoot. And so sometimes for DeAnthony Melton is a really interesting example of this. You want to see that difference because they're really good at one and pretty good at one and bad at the other. And you think about how that could potentially shift their role, though you run into sample size theater there sometimes, which can be a real challenge.
Are you surprised that Jason Kidd has not been rumored for any jobs? Yes, because his agent likes to get things out there for him, but I'm not surprised he hasn't been hired. That's for sure.
Yeah, I mean, the amazingness of you and I recording the specific section of a coach ranking podcast where we were talking about him as the worst coach in the league at the exact moment that he was fired was truly incredible. Because we were recording at a weird time too. I think it was middle of the day on a Thursday or something, if memory serves. Do you want your GMs better in talent evaluation or contract salary management? I would say talent evaluation overall, just because if you have good players, you can figure the other stuff out. But they all matter. I mean, you could see that from the Miami Heat are a really good example of that. But talent evaluation, getting value, finding Duncan Robinson, let's say, seeing a player in there, and that's of course there's a lot of development and all that they're in there too. But that kind of can give you some latitude to get other things.
All right, so 81-75 is our score. Let's see what the Heat can get here. And Bam is back in. So is Duncan Robinson. Kuzma stayed with him well. Hero going to try on Caruso. Caruso with great defense. Now they got to try again. Hero with the tough shot over Davis. And man, Anthony Davis, I mean, that's just exactly what you need. Coming off of Jimmy Butler right at the end of the shot clock. Caruso had a great defensive possession that time as well.
Also, why isn't KCP in this game? I mean, he's the best guy guarding Doug Robinson. I don't think he's going to be tired with 8 minutes left in the game.
And is Markieff Morris ever going to play the whole second half? Here's James in the post again. They want to screen for Kuzma coming to the near side. Nothing doing there. James squeezing the air out of the ball. 5 on the clock. Tries Butler. Kicks it out. Caruso. That's short. Rebounded by Morris. Davis. Good closeout by Adebayo. And James will have to attack again late in the clock. Swings it around. Morris. Big three. Way short. Big collision as well underneath. Davis is down. Heat have a 5-on-3. Crowder, they swing it around. Open three for Hero. And Davis is still down. Anthony Davis is still
Jimmy
down.
Butler. I know what happened, but we'll see it clearly. Jimmy Butler pushed Alex Caruso, and he went into AD.
Yeah, I didn't catch what. Ooh. All right, so I think my hope is that that's a contusion and not, or maybe even a below the belt and not something that actually is affecting a joint. It's like they're getting ready to help him up. And I'm guessing he's going to be able to continue. But they're getting a timeout here, obviously. But that was a big swing there with just that three from Hero. And, I mean, did you see how hard Butler actually pushed Caruso? Did Caruso flop on that? I'm guessing he probably did.
It didn't seem like it was that hard a push.
Yeah. I mean, there's no way that anybody goes flying like that on a push without allowing themselves to go flying like that.
We have sufficiently talked about bookies.com, right? Or do we need to talk about that
No,
more?
we have fulfilled our contractual obligations, my friend.
Let's see.
What do you think? Oh, yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
Is the ability to make bad shots more important than field goal percentage during the playoffs? It matters. It's good to have somebody who can do that, but I mean, whether the shots overall go in or not is more important. So I would say making bad shots is more important in the playoffs than it is in the regular season if it's consistent. You know, like if you have, like you're just somebody who can make a tough two late in the clock. But no, making shots is still, in general, more important. Let's see. From Niku Ministry, this game has me sweating, and I don't even have a rooting interest. Yeah, it's been a blast. This has been a very fun game overall. I love competitive. Like these two teams have such high defensive ceilings and intensities that it leads to really enjoyable basketball. Not everybody's cup of tea, but our cup of tea. Okay, that note from Chris that Caruso was running in for an offensive rebound and was off balance when Butler pushed him. From Oliver Probert, what do you see Miami doing with their cap room this offseason? My prediction, as long as Goran Dragic is healthy, like healthy enough, is that they actually will not use cap room this offseason and that they will stay over, retain Goran Dragic and Jay Crowder on 1-year contracts, maybe some sort of team-friendly element for the next year, but spend more money on those guys than they will at free agency. It's also hard to sign big money free agents on 1-year contracts. So that's the other reason why I think that's more likely. Also, Dragic was awesome.
I agree.
What is a good Myers-Leonard landing spot next year? Oh boy. I mean, I honestly could see him come back to the Heat. You know, like how do they fully embrace Bam being a full-time center moving forward, or was that more just a bubble thing? I think it's the right move for them, you know, like in important moments, but maybe they want him at the 4 a little bit.
All right, we're back here, and Davis will remain in the game.
Good.
3-point game here. They'll switch this. They're trying to get the back screen for Davis for a lob. That doesn't work. KCP on the drive. That time they get the lob, and Kentavious Caldwell-Pope has been outstanding as a driver, and he blew right by Duncan Robinson. Butler, as Davis, again, he goes under on him, but he can swallow up that drive. This has been a really nice strategy by Frank Vogel against those Butler screens. Now, Butler's just stuck in the corner. Robinson has to create over Caruso. Deep three off the glass!
Oh.
And the appropriate shrug for a good shooter when he shoots it off the glass. Robinson up to 17 points now. Same play again for the Lakers. Now KCP setting the screen. Crowder with the stunt. Leaves. KCP misses the three, though. Lakers.
I love the pass fake into an open three. Teams in rotation. That's the best way to get a good look.
Lakers going a little cold from three here, though. Now that time, a good screen set by Duncan Robinson, and LeBron does not get there quickly enough. And AD is talking to Alex Caruso saying, hey, you got to help me a little bit there. But that all started with a great screen.
It seems like the Lakers' base assignments are to have KCP on Hero instead of on Robinson. I think that's a big mistake.
James splits the pick and roll, going right at Crowder. What another and one by LeBron James. Unbelievable, man. Like, he just... I think he's shooting like over 50% on plays where he gets fouled in these last three games. I mean, that's incredible. That's a good defense by Crowder, and James is just a rock.
Well, and you know, I talked about that. Like, if you're going to foul him. Jay Crowder fouled him there and still got.
I mean, he got the ball first. Like, it was a good block at first. James breaking the 83 all deadlock with that one.
And so we'll see the Lakers crunch time offense here. And yeah, it is. Okay, so now Caruso's on Hero. Maybe that was a transition thing that happened last time.
Adebayo at the elbow. I think they should try to go back to him a little bit here. Some Hero on the drive going into Caruso. And they're going to get a walk. And Hero's saying, yeah, that guy called the foul, but I think he did travel first. It was a foul on Caruso, who had his arms forward. Let's see if we can catch it here. Yep, 1, 2, 3. They pre-switch this to put Crowder out in this screening action. They go under on LeBron. Big three. That time he's short, but Rondo with another offensive board. KCP under to LeBron. And he's going to get fouled harder that time. But he'll have 2 free throws. Rajon Rondo had that strip on the offensive glass and then 2 big offensive rebounds in this game. Any thoughts here on the closing lineup for the Lakers?
Let's see. So KCP, LeBron, AD are the mandatories. I would probably go Rondo and I guess Markieff. I don't think Caruso needs to. Maybe you go Caruso and not Markieff. I think I trust Markieff more to hit those shots, even though I don't like him nearly as much defensively.
Yeah, they are going now with LeBron at the 4, AD at the 5. Morris is maybe the thought was that he knew he wasn't going to close. But if
AD's guarding Butler, then functionally I guess Butler's kind of their 4.
Yeah.
I would say Jay Crowder's their 4.
Yeah. Well, so I think maybe the reason they played Morris for so long was they knew they weren't going to close with him. That's a better stunt out from Caldwell Pope. Butler still trying Davis. Just has no chance of attacking him one-on-one. Hero switched onto again by Caldwell Pope. Pick and roll. Butler on the roll. Leaves it off for Bam. Gets Davis in the air. And he thought he had the and one, but it's just instead a bucket to put it to a 3-point game. I can't see.
So let's see the process on the Lakers offense here.
Yeah, a lot of small pick and rolls. No, I think LeBron just wants to go one-on-one here. No, finally Rondo gets involved here. Rondo not really a threat as the roll man. James taking the 3. That misses. Adebayo tried to keep it alive, but he couldn't. These long rebounds are killing Miami right now. Good closeout by Adebayo on Davis. Davis, tough fadeaway on the baseline. Not even close. James on the offensive glass. Fouled again. LeBron James has some words for Jay Crowder, and I'm not sure why that is.
And that's well, I think that's a couple of kind of higher fouls by Crowder. I don't see anything wrong with that, and that's Crowder's fourth for the record.
Yeah, maybe he gets him in the head here. And also LeBron, I think, as he gets inside of him.
Crowder fouled him twice. He might be mad about that. Fouled him in the rebounding action. I mean, LeBron's fortunate that they didn't call the foul in the rebounding action because it wouldn't have been free throws. Actually, no, it would. I'm seeing it that Miami has 5 fouls, but there might be the circumstance where one of them was offensive.
No, they're in the bonus. Count. It says it on the broadcast.
Oh, there it is. Okay, yeah, so it would have been free throws anyway. And offensive rebounding has been a factor the last few years. I mean, that, Rondo with a couple of tips, and then that last one, Rondo was in position, so Miami had to basically bat it out instead, and then that went to a Laker for the catch. And so this is Morris for Caruso. This is the one that I was wondering about if they were going to go to this with Rondo. So then Rondo will have to chase somebody around.
LeBron hitting a couple of free throws. Back to 5 here.
Oh, they have Rondo on Duncan Robinson.
Yeah, this is interesting here. Butler, hands off, Hero. Ridiculous shot on the baseline. What a shot. Tyler Hero not lacking for confidence. How many times have we said that? Lakers going to the clogged toilet offense again, as Bill Simmons would say. Rondo is going to come set the screen here. They involve Robinson in this screening action as well. Swinging it out, Rondo trying to find James on the cut. Back out, KCP over Robinson. Misses that. Another rebound. Finally, the Heat get one. I thought Markieff was going to grab that. But Lakers are just going way too late here. And setting the screen with Rondo, he's just not a threat. As Spo is going to use his use it or lose it timeout with the Heat down by 3.
Is Hero a irrational confidence guy? I'd say he's more of a rational confidence guy at this point. I mean, he's been awesome.
Well, I mean, he was 6 of 18 last game. What is he shooting in this game?
That's a fair point. He is 7 of 16.
All right, yeah, he's starting to heat up a little bit.
Yeah, 17 points, 17 shooting possessions. Who is more tired? I think the Lakers are more tired. I haven't seen anything really from the Heat.
Yeah, I mean, we got to keep an eye on Bam in particular.
Yeah, that's true. Who has the best odds at Finals MVP so far? Well, as of this moment, the Lakers are the more likely champion, and I would say LeBron is the heavy favorite if they win. So I'm going to go with LeBron James. If Miami wins the title, which I would say they're the underdogs for, even if they win this game, then Jimmy Butler is going to win it.
Yeah, but AD, I think the last couple of games where he hasn't done much would have hurt his candidacy. Well, he's done a lot defensively in this game, but I don't know how much the voters are going to focus in on that necessarily.
And I mean, it's worth noting the AD only minutes were a massive success for the Lakers in this one, and that could be a big part of why they win. Some of that was just AD getting fouled a bunch of times. Is Alvin Gentry a good coach? I think that he can be a part of a good staff. I didn't think of the Pelicans, like as being that they had necessarily great process or anything, and we're back.
Thank you. They get it into Butler, still guarded by Davis. Bam has not been as involved here. They want to try and get Hero going. He gets past KCP, but KCP right back in his jersey. Hero again, and he's going to get fouled by KCP, who is getting a little handsy with him.
And it's very surprising to me that Miami is going to this Bam Hero offense when Duncan Robinson is being guarded by Rondo. I mean, there's been some fruit here, but I'm going to say in terms of the expected value, Duncan Robinson, I mean, Rondo's not going to be able to chase him around these screens.
Yeah, I agree. I would be trying that. Now, Rondo has a much better reputation defensively in the league as Hero hits the first than perhaps is warranted. Yeah, I mean, I'm not really sure where the foul is on that one, frankly.
So again, I think that would have been a better challenge than the one that the Lakers did.
I mean, they always find something on these, though. Like, he misses the free throw. That's a killer. 2-point game. Let's see if the Lakers can get into something else out of this ATO. LeBron with a live dribble. Yeah, they're going back to this play again. Bam gets through it nicely. Switching now, Bam onto LeBron. LeBron sizing up Bam. waves everyone away. Going to go to that step back to his left. Here it is. Misses. Rebounded by Butler. Again, Miami not really pushing the ball in transition. They want to get Adebayo with the screen for Butler. He'll take the three for the lead. Just rims out. Now James looking to push it. They don't have much back. Three-pointer in the corner. Caldwell Pope. Yes! Adebayo went for the offensive rebound, could not get it, and that led to the fast break going the other way. Huge swing there. Butler could have given him the lead. He rimmed it out from the corner. Caldwell Pope hits from the corner. Now it's Rondo on Hero. Rondo reaching in from behind. No shot on this one.
And that's only the Lakers' second foul of the fourth quarter. So Miami's not even particularly close to the bonus. They'll probably be their second foul in the last 2 minutes.
Yeah, and you can see there the gravity of LeBron James in transition. Tyler Hero is guarding Caldwell Pope. He's all the way into the lane, and it's a batting practice, corner three. And is this a review here? What's going on? This would be an odd timeout because you can't take a timeout you can't take more than 2 timeouts under 3 minutes. So this would be a very weird timeout by one of these teams. What is this?
Yeah, we'll find out. Well, and it's a Lakers timeout.
The Lakers have called timeout. Are they challenging? They don't have a challenge, right? Yeah, they used it already on the out of bounds.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I don't understand this timeout at all. Why wouldn't you? Does Frank Vogel just forget the rule that once you go under does he think there's 3:39 left instead of 2:39? I really don't understand this.
The Lakers should only have 1 timeout left after this.
Yeah. And maybe he just wanted to get more of a rest for his guys. He saw maybe LeBron looked tired after pushing the ball up. I don't know. This is weird.
Yeah, somebody, so there was a question that was asked previously do you see a win-win coaching swap in the league right now? Off the top of my head, no. It would have to be a kind of a mismatch of situation. There are a lot of coaches that I think could help different places, but I can't think of one. That is an interesting one, though. If I had a little bit more time, I'd come up with something.
So it'll be Heat ball still here. There is Rondo guarding Duncan Robinson. They get it into Butler. Adebayo at the elbow, looking for Hero on the near side. KCP gets through it, no problem. Now they got to get it to Adebayo at the elbow again. He's going to have to create. Fakes to Butler, way off the glass, and they're going to say it's a shot clock violation. And I think this is right, but they will review it. And this is a good job here by the refereeing crew to call the shot clock violation and review it rather than not call it.
Right, because they wouldn't be able to see it the other way.
Yeah, but I don't think he's going to get this off.
Nope, it's like, good call.
I can't believe that went in. So, Lakers a chance to push it to 3 possessions and put Miami into difficulty here. That same play again, screening Davis out of the corner. Now he goes to screen for LeBron. No advantage gain there. Rondo coming up to set the screen. 2 screens for LeBron. Butler getting through everything. He gives the flaming bad to KCP on the drive. Lays it in. He beat Robinson again. Adebayo did not come over to help out. And that's twice. Robinson tapping his chest. And what do we got here?
Miami timeout.
Is there some kind of a review that maybe he didn't get it off in time?
It looks like there might be a review.
I don't see what this could be. Yeah, I mean, I think he did it with a second left on the shot clock. But man, KCP, what a game he has had here. Defensively, he's been fantastic guarding these guys running off of screens. He's got 15 points, 3 of 8 from downtown, 5 assists, which you don't see much from him.
Yeah, and KCP 3 of 4 on 2-pointers as well. That's been very important.
Yeah, that just straight line drive hard to his right.
I'm looking at the box score to try to figure out what exactly is causing this stoppage, and I don't have a clear answer. Are they reviewing? I'm reading Twitter. It seems like it might have been a review of the previous play. Okay.
Yeah, well, so Rondo now is going to try and pressure up full court on Butler and now get back to his man Hero. Miami got to pitch basically a perfect game at this point. They try to get Robinson open. LeBron stepping out. Robinson guns it. Short. Oh, James and Rondo run into each other. Now Hero. He'll take the three. Finding Butler. Kick out. Crowder. They need it. Yes! James is still in pain after that collision, going for the rebound with Rondo. And the Lakers going to have to use their last timeout here?
I mean, why are they allowing for this? If there's not a timeout, why are they allowing this long?
It's just I think LeBron got hit below the belt. The Heat starting to heat up a little bit on threes here. In fact, they have made now 4 of their last 5. They were at one point 5 of 26. And the Lakers have cooled off massively. They're down to 34%. They were 12 of 27. They've made only 1 of their last 11. That KCP in the corner, that was it. Now they're going away from LeBron James to have Rondo control the action. Rondo on the drive. Rondo with the layup. Again, Duncan Robinson was beaten. Adebayo has not been an effective help defender in this game.
Yeah, and he was there on that one, just didn't stop Rondo.
Robinson off the screen. James tries to step out. Davis stopping Robinson. He gets it right back to him, though. Now Butler has to try LeBron into the lane. Hero. Great defense again. Misses. Man, this Lakers defense has been
Miami
awesome.
Miami basically spent all of that inside the arc despite being down 6 points with a minute left.
Yeah, well, they did a great job of running Robinson off the line. That was what the initial play was for. This can just about ice it here if they score. Rondo tries Robinson. Davis will have to take it over Bam. Good night.
And this is going to be a 3-1 series lead for the Los Angeles Lakers. Huge second half, specifically some big fourth quarter for LeBron James. 26 points, 8 of 16 from the field, 8 of 10 from the line, and that was Davis's 19th, 20th, 21st, and 22nd points. He's at 22 and 9.
Yeah, and the Lakers, though, ultimately have done it defensively.
Yes.
I mean, when is the last time that the Heat got an open look that wasn't off some kind of a scramble or an offensive rebound?
That's a great point. First shot defense, I think, has been very good for them. I'm going to look up. So the way Cleaning the Glass logs it, both teams are in the bottom half of the league in terms of points per play in the half court. But interestingly, the Lakers just haven't been able to run in this game. They've 89% of their plays have been in the half court. That's much lower than usual. That's interesting.
Yeah, the Lakers now lead it by 9. Miami's job just about impossible at this point. Obviously, they need a 3 here. They need to get the 3 for 1. The 2 for 1 is not going to cut it. With 1 timeout having been used now and 1 remaining, they got to get a 3 and then obviously deny the ball in bounds, try to force turnovers. That man, Goran Dragic, definitely wishes he could be out there to provide a little more on-ball impetus for this group. James switches on to Butler, looking for Hero. Davis, beautiful denial. Switch back. Butler on the roll. Easy dunk, but that will do them little good. Rondo gets it into James. They don't look to foul him. Instead, he gets it to Davis. Time running down here. They get it across.
Oh.
No, they do get it across, but it goes out of bounds.
And this is how you get the 3 for 1.
Yeah, well, except they need a 4 for 1 because they only got a 2 that time. Butler, he should have just taken that 3. Instead, he goes right into Davis. Rejected by Anthony Davis. What a performance defensively for Anthony Davis. And that will do it. Lakers will take a 3-1 series lead, and in all likelihood, they're going to win the championship as well. LeBron James, fantastic second half for him. Only 1 turnover. He's got 8 out of 16 from the field. 12 rebounds, 8 assists, 10 of 12 from the foul line for LeBron.
And a hugely impactful second half defensively for Anthony Davis, and I that really helped neutralize Miami's offense. I thought he's been excellent.
And I mean, I got to give the credit again to Frank Vogel. The strategy of putting Davis on Butler, going under, not switching. They gave up a couple, but the beauty of it was that it didn't matter if Jimmy Butler got ahead of steam when they went under because Davis was there waiting for them at the rim. Hero, all they got to do here is just not foul him. He somehow hits the 3 with 1.1 left. And, hey, Danny, the Heat just covered on that play.
Oh, my God. Congratulations to Adam Thompson for getting that right. Oh, man.
What a killer. Man, this is why I don't bet, dude. I would have just been so pissed off if I had the Lakers, as I'm sure many of their partisans did in this game. Well, we'll be back with Dunked on Prime tonight, obviously. If you haven't signed up yet, we even have special pricing as well. If you're in some financial difficulty, there's a letter pinned to the top of my Twitter profile at Nate Duncan NBA with instructions on how to do that. Or you can sign up under the normal channels also. And we'll talk to subscribers in just a little bit here.